Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I'm your host, Alex Martinez, and today I can't believe I have these three guys in the studio today. I got my brother John Cabay, my brother Paul Nava, and my brother Osvaldo. Everybody knows him as Queixinho, so I'm just going to call him Queixinho if that's okay. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey,
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So listen, I don't know exactly where to start because there's so much knowledge in the room, but I just want to get kind of your little bit of backstory, how you found jiu-jitsu, and everybody in this podcast is a academy owner, so we'll get to that. But let's talk a little bit about kind of origin story. So Q, let's talk about you, man. Where'd you find jiu-jitsu? How'd you find it?
Jiu-jitsu started with me with my friends. I grew up in Tijuca, and if you know Tijuca Tennis Club, is the
biggest. That's
like the where everything started, all the big tournaments, all the competitions, all the the big names of jiu-jitsu becoming champions.
Yeah.
And I grew up on that neighborhood. And it was I remember that I saw some of the guys, the jiu-jitsu guys around. They always in the best parties, in the best place, with the best girls, with the best, people. And I was like, I want to be like those guys,
Yeah.
I want to be like a popular guy,
Yeah.
I want to do something nice,
How old were you?
I was 15 to 16.
Wow.
And my good friend, Marcos, he started training a little bit before.
Is that Marcos Antelante?
Marcos Antelante,
Yeah.
yes. And I had my judo experience as a kid, like from 9 to 14, 13. I had like a little judo experience. And I already had a gi. Actually, I got my brother's gi. And Marcos invited me to train, and let's go do a trial. I said, yeah, let's go. And I felt good. I felt, very similar to judo, like the grips, the submissions and everything. And I was very excited, but I didn't have the money by the time, actually.
Yeah.
And I was working, like regular job, like 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and I was already, I was young, but I was already working. And then I have a little money, but not the time. And I ended up losing this job because, I was young, not very experienced, and very amateur.
Yeah.
And,
What job was it? What were you doing?
like I was the boy that brings documents back to back.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I don't know exactly how you guys
Like a
say-
runner. Like a
like
runner.
a runner.
Yeah.
Yes. I was in the center of Rio, like going to bank, pay bills, bringing documents side to side,
Nice.
working. And I worked at this kind of job for like a couple of years, from my 15 years old to 17, when actually 16, when I started training. And I lost that job, and I have like $200. I mean, 200 reais, which is like 35, 40 dollars now. And there was exactly like 2 months of membership. 2 months of membership. And by that time I was still in the school, trying to finish the high school. And my family, have to pay for that. Like I always went for like a public school.
Yeah.
At some point I had to go to this high school that I would finish a little quickly, and my family was paying for that. And then at some point I have to stop doing jiu-jitsu because, I didn't have the money. And
Yeah.
either my mother pays the school, or the jiu-jitsu, and I stopped. That's when my first professor, Andrea Terencio, he gave me a great opportunity of helping him in the school and teaching and doing private, and in exchange for my membership. That was the opportunity of my life.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Gave me the opportunity, and I was working. I was learning a lot. I was doing private with him, because by that time he had like a knee injury, and then I start helping him with the private class.
Yeah.
I learned so much, just by being there, and learning what not just the technique, but also you learn a way of teaching. You learn how to teach jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I think. And I was a blue belt, like 17 years old, young, and I didn't have the dream of becoming like a jiu-jitsu athlete or nothing like that. I just want to improve. I just want to get better.
Wow.
And train more and more.
Yeah. So tell me about your judo background. When did that start?
So I was a really difficult kid, like I had a really bad behavior, and And I also I always had the kind of aggression problem, you know, like I was a kid, a little aggressive, you know, like I don't know how to control that.
Bit of a hothead.
Yeah, kind of, yes.
I can't imagine you being a hothead. Hothead. Dude.
Yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
I was the kid that beat all the other kids in the kindergarten, you know, right? And my behavior, and I was really bad.
Yeah.
And then the way of my parents to get me like a discipline and self control was to the martial arts.
Yeah.
You know, to judo, because I was going to this little school that they have a judo program in there, and then me and my brother we start doing judo.
Wow.
You know? And then we
Was
did
he a troublemaker too?
Huh?
Was your brother a troublemaker too?
Not really. He was the whole.
He was the perfect.
He was a
kid.
good kid.
Yeah, no, he was a good kid. He was the best. You know, the best son. I always make joke with my family that he was the best one. The example. And I'm glad because he helped me a lot. You know, if we had the balance. You know, I was the trouble one. He was the cool kid. They always give him the good advice and taking me to the right way. But yeah, and then after judo, I had a little break because my behavior also, I have a little argue with my coach, and then I step away. My brother kept training judo, and then we both started working really young, you know, because there's no option in Brazil, you know, to you know, live the dream. We started working with 15, both. He's 2 years older. So whenever he started working, he couldn't train anymore. So I had his gi. I was working for a little bit, then a job. That's when I started. And I would use his gi, his judo gi, to start in jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
And then that's how I started.
And at this point, how long had Marcus been training? Was he already like purple belt, or was he?
He was a blue belt by the time.
Okay.
Yeah. He got his blue belt like 2 months before I start training.
Okay.
But the judo gave me a huge experience. When I started training jiu-jitsu, it was very, very easy for me to adapt it, to change my game.
Yep.
I mean, not really change, but to learn jiu-jitsu, you know.
Yeah.
And in like I started training in April, and in December I got my blue belt, like pretty soon.
Wow.
Quickly.
And is that pretty common to have somebody start with judo and then transition to jiu-jitsu in Brazil?
Judo is really popular in Brazil.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we have judo everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's popular because it's been there for a long time, and also because of the Olympic Games. But jiu-jitsu it's different. It's popular, but like I don't know how to explain, because judo is big, but jiu-jitsu it's more like people that do jiu-jitsu, they know each other. You know? It's like a small community. It's big, but it's a
smaller community.
Everybody knows each other. You know, in judo it's like big because it's in everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little different, but it very connected, because in Brazil like a judo gi is very expensive. You know, so if you already have a gi, if you train jiu-jitsu or judo, if you already have a gi, that helps you. You know, in each other. You know, like if you have a gi, you can train both.
Gotcha.
Know? And I got my first gi as a 9 years old, you know, kid, and my brother also did both judo and jiu-jitsu, and he's also black belt.
Yeah.
Today. And I was one of the motivations for him to start training.
Nice.
And he come to us. He came for 2 years and trained. He competed with us. Now he's back in Brazil, but I hope he still can come back. You know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Me too. Cool. I love that guy.
That is a good-looking man. That's all I got to say. Holy shit.
He's the Brazilian Ken Barber.
What about you, man? How did you find jiu-jitsu?
Well, I started in Muay Thai. I started Muay Thai in San Jose with AKA.
I did Muay Thai too.
Yeah?
I did everything.
That's a lot of work, man.
Muay Thai is rough. Muay Thai is rough.
Muay Thai is rough, yeah.
Yeah, so I started in San Jose, where I'm originally from, and I did Muay Thai with AKA, Javier Mendez.
Yeah.
Good school.
They're a big school.
Yeah, big school.
But back then, we were just in like a small hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So it was back there back in 92.
Okay.
I did it about 5 years, and then I moved to Arizona. I moved to Arizona, and I started in Arizona, and I started Muay Thai again. And it just wasn't for me because I was getting older, and I needed something. I didn't want to go to work with black eyes and bruises on my arms and have to explain to everybody every time.
Yeah. Broken nose, bleeding, and yeah.
Well, I mean, back in the late 90s and early 2000s when people didn't know about these types of martial arts, when you had a black eye going to work, everybody, thought that you were just a bully and going to places where
it's hard to make friends when you got a black eye sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't look good.
Yeah, it does. It's not a good look.
Listen, I was in sales at the time, so it was
That's
terrible.
really bad.
It was terrible.
Today it'd be a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
totally
do
different.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So I came to Arizona, and me and my wife moved to Arizona. We transplanted from California, and I started training at the Higa Machado school. So I decided to get away from. Well, actually, there was Muay Thai there, and I signed up because they had Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. Mm. And I signed up and I started Muay Thai, and then I was like, you know what? I didn't care for. I shouldn't say that. The coach and I, wasn't the same relationship as I had in San Jose. So I decided to do Jiu Jitsu, and I started with the Higa Machado affiliate, and from there, like my eyes just opened up to this great art. You can give so much, and you can still wake up in the morning and get up and go to work. Yeah. Because you're not like getting kicked in the knee, getting kicked in the head, punched in the face. Yeah. It was completely different. And plus I think it was something that I appreciated more because it was more methodical.
Same intensity.
Same intensity.
Same intensity.
Same intensity.
Yeah.
I mean, jiu-jitsu, the intensity is so great, but yet the story goes a little bit farther, but let's just go with I enjoyed jiu-jitsu so much. And so I started at Higa Machado, and I got my blue belt there. And I'm so proud to say that I got my blue belt from Chris Howder. Chris Howder is like part of the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
Like 8, 7, or 8.
No. I think he's 4. Really? I think he's 4.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Chris Howder's been around forever. He came and did a seminar, and then he gave me my blue belt. And at a seminar, didn't know anything about my background, gave me my blue belt, and wow, I've only been training for 10 months.
Wow.
So it was pretty rough having that at 10 months.
Why didn't you give me my blue belt after 10 months? Did I suck that bad? Is that, never mind. Let's not talk about that. We're going to keep it going.
Hey, but if you have a background, that helps a lot, especially judo or wrestling.
Yes.
I have some wrestlers with me that they be training for like 6 months.
Here you go.
You got it.
They're doing good against the purple belts.
Yeah.
You got to promote.
Yes.
Wrestling is
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
It is, yeah.
Definitely.
And if they know how to connect that to adapt this
scary
game,
it's beautiful.
It's pretty good.
It's beautiful. So I was with Higa Machado for one year. I got my blue belt. I got my blue belt after 10 months, and then my coach at the time. My coach is a really nice guy, great guy. His name is Greg Holmes. Greg Holmes was a purple belt at the time, and he decided to take us. There was some politics going on, but he decided to take us to Gustavo Dantas' school. And I realized that the blue belt that I had was different than the blue belts that I had I started training with at Gustavo Dantas' school.
Yeah.
I was getting wrecked. I'm not saying anything bad about my promotion. I'm just saying that schools are different.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I went
even today.
Yeah.
Not just 20 years ago. Today, too.
Same thing. We, of course, it's the same thing. So I went to Gustavo's school, and I was getting wrecked by his white belts and blue belts. And I had that blue belt for about 4 years. But that's when I found my home. That's where I realized that this was going to be a lifelong journey, because I realized that I have all these different ages, different body sizes, and we're all training together, and we're training hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to use some cuss words.
That's okay.
Man,
100%.
We were like training so hard, sweating, and everybody's like 20s to 50s.
Yeah.
20s to about
Still
50s.
Yeah, so far so good, right? So far so good.
Yeah, I'll get there. But I realized that was going to be my journey.
Yeah.
And Gustavo built such a force in Arizona, but before that, he was such a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I got to see his evolution as a coach too, because, just like any coach, you coach, and you're still learning and getting better and better. And I just got to see how things were probably just like the way he was taught in Brazil, and then you come to the States, and people want more because they have so many different options. They got karate, taekwondo, mainstream sports like wrestling, baseball, whatever, and it's very organized. So it wasn't extremely organized in the beginning when Gustavo got here, but then it got so good, and all the pieces were coming together. And that's when I realized that this is something that I want to do, and just all his pieces that he made me think. He made me think as a student, and that's what I wanted. And when I got my purple belt, that's when I told my wife, hey, I want to do what Gustavo did. And then she let me train a lot more.
Wow.
She gave me the freedom to train a lot more. And that's how my journey began.
So are you talking about the vision that you had was going to be, you want to open an academy one day?
It was a purple belt.
Wow.
It was a purple belt.
Yeah.
Because literally that was 2005.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing around.
Yep.
And I knew that there had to be more. Even though I loved my team, I felt like that there was more I could reach out to. Even though I didn't until my end of my brown belt, I opened up a school. But the vision that he gave me, and by the way, he's still doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Gustavo was his school is a force, and that's my story.
Yeah.
My story is so good because I'll repeat it over and over and over again. How one person changed my life.
Yeah, and forget about the school. I always say that Gustavo Dantas and Megaton, I always give him credit.
Megaton for sure.
They have done more for jiu-jitsu in Arizona than anyone I can think
anyone
of.
Else.
Right?
Anyone else.
And they created this amazing tournament circuit that would not otherwise have
I was
existed.
about to say that Gustavo is been like a good influence in jiu-jitsu here in Arizona for
I don't think it's just in Arizona.
No, in
the country.
The country, sure,
yes,
because a lot of people come to compete in here.
Yeah.
And he's still have his podcast, his interviews. That
he had a tournament that Queixinho competed, Leandro Lowe competed.
Yeah,
I competed.
Gubson Saw.
Yeah,
you competed. Samir competed. I mean, he had some
Barata.
Bruno Bastos. He had some great.
Marcel Fortuna.
Clark Gracie too.
Clark Gracie, yes.
Insane,
Formiga.
Insane. And that is relationships that have been built over time, right? I mean, he can make a phone call tomorrow and get anybody he wants.
Yes.
That was my first connection with Arizona.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Gustavo Dantas?
My first time in here, I came for his tournament.
What is your history with Gustavo? How do you know him?
So I met him through Samir. Samir was he's still the head referee here.
Yep.
And we met. I met Gustavo in 2011 when I came for one of his tournaments that used to pay a little money.
Yeah.
Right after I moved to USA.
By the way, that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it was like $1,500.
Yeah, that was
for jiu-jitsu
yeah.
back then?
Yeah.
And Samir told me, hey, you should go. And I told him, can you put me as a referee and get my ticket? And they said, no. If you go, I get you as a referee, but they can't pay your tickets. Okay, I'm going to make this investment. And so I pay my ticket in 2011 to fight one of the Southwest Classic.
Yeah.
And Kyle was coming too. Kyle.
Yeah.
Right there. And Samir, of course, he was the head guy.
JT Torres fought there too.
No, that was the year before.
Whoa.
Okay, but JT Torres fought his
tournament
too.
Yeah, that was the year before.
Okay.
So in that year, in 2011, I compete against Felipe de la Monica from Gracie Barra.
Oh, he's awesome.
And that
guy.
was a war.
Yeah.
Awesome
I won
guy.
by advantage. And then I closed out with Kyle. We did a fake fight.
You beat Felipe.
Yeah, I beat Felipe.
Woo.
And then for me, I was like $750. That was a lot of money.
Yes.
I paid like 4 months here.
Yeah.
Of my
Gustavo
food.
actually
That's how I
brought
met him.
Felipe de Monica to fight Kron Gracie at his tournament too.
What?
I remember that.
Yes.
What year was that when Kron
Maybe
came to town?
2010.
Yeah, 10. Yeah,
Okay,
2010.
so just
around
before
there.
I started. Yeah.
I was one of the rovers. I had to go pick up Felipe de Monaco at the airport.
That doesn't suck. That's
No, it
kind of
doesn't.
cool.
Because
Yeah.
him and I, we built
Yeah.
we know each other now.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed about you, like right away. when I first started competing with you, it was like white belt, and we were going to Vegas, and we're going here, and you knew everybody.
Yeah.
He knew
He knows
everybody, and
He
everybody
always
knew
push
him.
a lot of his students to compete around.
Yeah.
I remember San Jose, he brought like 30 people.
Oh my
San
God.
Francisco.
It's going to happen again.
Yes, we're gonna go
Yeah,
back.
yeah. There's always got to be that leader, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you still are a great leader.
you.
But John, what about you, man? Where'd you find jiu-jitsu?
Those are tough acts to follow, but I'm the new guy in the room.
No, you're not.
Experienced.
Yeah.
But I love you guys. So my experience, I was an active kid. I played a lot of sports. I was always trying to find that next thing, and I kind of fell into jiu-jitsu late. I was 36 when I started, and I started to be less fat. I was like, well, maybe I'll try this out. See if this is going to hold my interest. Before I try, I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
And so I'd scuba diving, rock climbing, jumping out of airplanes, whatever. And I'd enjoy myself, but I'd have like an attention span only so long.
Yeah.
And so I found this a little bit late, and I was like, man, I could never learn all of jiu-jitsu in 10 lifetimes.
Right.
I realized that pretty quick, and it's even more daunting now, 14 and a half years in, to know how much I don't know. And that's part of the beauty of the journey, is it just never stops. And so started to be less fat, and my jiu-jitsu started with Megaton. And at the end of 2009, my friend Gabe Gaston, shout out to Gabe, was a brown belt.
Gabe's a great guy.
Great guy.
His brother's a good black belt too.
Brothers
Jacob.
Another great human being. They, Gabe got me into Megatons, and they kicked the shit out of me. And I loved it. It was a really good time. And then unfortunately, I trained for about 6 months, but I got in a bicycle accident, so I had to stop. I had some road rash.
That's a pattern, dude.
And then I got in my head. Once it healed,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was like, I don't know if I should go back. And then I waited, and I should have gone back.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I moved to Colorado, and that's really where my jiu-jitsu started.
Mm-hmm.
I trained with Ethan Day, where I got my blue belt from. At the time, it was American Top Team, and Ethan was under Renato Tavares.
Renato Tavares, very well known from Florida.
Tough legend. And
he's such a nice guy.
Super
He's
nice.
the most humble human being, and just so,
Yeah.
which is part of this thing. So I got my blue belt from Ethan, and then Ethan moved across town, so I was looking for another instructor, and I went to this open mat with Colorado BJJ, and Ben Lowry beat the snot out of me. And I needed that at the time because I was a little aggressive, and I needed somebody to. It was real. That's the
Still blue belt.
I was a blue belt.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I got my purple belt from Ben, and then
that was Synergy, by the way, right? Was it Synergy or did you no
Sanctuary?
Sanctuary. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry. Sanctuary.
Shout out to Ben Lowry and Charlie Minkin. Tough as nails. And Charlie was on the same Olympic team as judo Olympic team as Ronda Rousey.
Oh, no
that's
kidding.
good.
Tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Your head,
Really?
tough as nails.
Yeah.
Amazing human beings, amazing program, smaller program, and I was fortunate to be a part of that because it was an emerging thing. So I learned a lot, and then I got a job opportunity, and at the time, my marriage was kind of falling apart, so I needed to kind of get back to family, and I'm from Arizona, so I grew up here. So moved back to town, looking for some jiu-jitsu, shopped around a little bit, went to different places, and then I stumbled into Paul's place.
Oh, nice, man.
And I met you first, I think, you and Koa and Chris.
Yeah.
And then Paul, and then you guys were so welcoming. And
Paul told me to fuck you up, by the way.
That's why
Good luck.
Good
luck.
You're blue belt by that time.
I was
Purple.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
I was halfway into my purple. I was feeling pretty confident.
Yeah.
And
Alex, what belt were you at that time?
Purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good round, son.
It was good rounds. Yeah.
And you guys murdered me. Did your best to try.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that either.
That's an old school thing, Like,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah. It's very true. Very true. It's not
So
the
I
same
signed
anymore.
up, of course, afterwards, and so welcoming, so encouraging, but not watered down. 'Cause
Right.
I needed that. It's authentic.
Yeah.
And so, where do I sign up? And then I got my brown belt from Paul. Paul took me in, and I got my black belt from Paul in my first stripe under Queixinho.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings us up to this point.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy who never quit. I'm that cliche.
Beautiful.
Stubborn.
Listen, I appreciate you 100%. Appreciate you choosing our school because for a long time you were my best training partner until I was getting beat
always say that,
until I was getting beat up too much.
Yeah,
Start
man.
out that
That's
way.
a beautiful story. It's never too late.
Yes.
I started 36. I'm
Yeah.
36 now, but you're in the same pace now. Same same spot. You know.
Yeah, I actually so when I'll share you guys. I mean, I share this almost every episode, but I'll share with you guys my origin story in jiu-jitsu is I started with I've always been like dabbling in athletics my whole life, and I did triathlon early in the like 2000.
You wouldn't notice that when you walked in my school.
No, sir. No, sir. So in 2010, I actually did a full distance triathlon. And shortly after I quit doing it, I almost got into, a wreck on the bike with a car, and it was a bad scene. So getting fat's a lot of fun. It is, man. Getting fat's fun. So if anybody's like looking for a hobby, like getting fat is not bad. But at some point you're going to die, right? Yeah. So I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. I really did. And when Amy was in nursing school, she was going to nursing school with a guy named Kevin Bunyan. And Kevin at the time he was a blue belt at Gracie, Arizona. And all he talked about was jiu-jitsu. That's all. We hung out, he and his wife and Amy and I, we hung out. And I'm sitting there like, oh, if this guy talks about jiu-jitsu one more time. I'm rolling my eyes like, God, that's all he talked about. But thanks to Kevin, honestly, I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. So I Googled jiu-jitsu, and I was 40 years old. So jiu-jitsu Mesa, I just Googled it. Never too late, man. Never. Yes. So I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. I knew I had to do something, and I'm not the kind of person that'll go to a gym, right? I'm just not that guy.
The gym sucks.
It sucks. Right? It's a stupid idea.
It's terrible.
It's a stupid idea.
Well, it's actually a pickup joint. That's all it is. It's a pickup joint. That's all.
Not even the same experience.
Somebody picked you up at the gym. Hey, tell me about that. What's going on there?
It's been a long time. I don't spend much time in the gym anymore.
Yeah.
When I went to the gym, there was chalk flying around.
Right. Yeah. So my first class was actually at Rough House. With Arthur Ruff was no longer there. He moved to the Midwest somewhere, and Gerson was teaching for him. Gerson was a brown belt at the time. That was my first jiu-jitsu class, my first and second. And it was cool. They're good people, small mat space, and I walked in and I felt like I was kind of in the way. I'm in PT gear. I didn't have a gi, nothing like that. And so my next stop was Paul Nava's, and I walked in and Paul's like, "Oh, Ben, yeah, 2-week trial I think you had at the time." Mm-hmm. And he put me in a gi, so I felt like comfortable, like I felt like I belonged. Put me in a gi right away, and then everybody proceeded to whip my ass, which is awesome. But when I walked into Paul's place, I remember when I walked in, I had a tie on. I just come off a business trip, and Nava came off the mat to talk to me, and the guys were training for pans at the time.
Oh shit.
Dude,
I remember
crazy,
this.
Killing each other.
I remember this.
The windows were sweaty, and it was like chaos. And I'm like, what the? I was so intimidated because they were training hard. And I thought, well, if this shit doesn't kill me, I'm going to get in pretty good shape. So my next stop was going to be Gustavo Dantas because they're in Tempe right down the road. So I found out that Paul was a black belt under Gustavo. So I'm like, I'm 3 miles away, dude. Like, this is my home. And I've been going to his academy, 5-6 days a week ever since. And it was just, like you said, the addictive personality, 100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so what is it about, what do you guys think it is about jiu-jitsu that is so freaking addictive? What is it about it?
Integrity.
No, you know what? I'm going to say something. The best thing about jiu-jitsu is the camaraderie. That's why we're all here right now.
Yeah.
It's the camaraderie. And what's that?
The community.
The community.
Yeah.
It's 100%. The camaraderie is so good because we're out there literally. I mean, I hope more people watch this podcast because this is the truth. We're out there murdering each other.
Yeah.
Literally, if you don't tap, you're going to die.
You're going to die. Yeah.
People don't understand that we have such a perfect rule. Like, we tap, boom, 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 it's done. Otherwise, you're going to go to sleep, and then if you don't tap, it makes it real.
Yeah.
It makes it so real. And so the camaraderie is so good because we trust each other. We trust each other so much. And that's how we build this whole alliance of family members.
Take it back. Community is more important than integrity. That's my instructor right there.
But you know what? The integrity piece is important because when you tap, you've got to trust that the other person is going to let go.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The trust,
Yeah, man.
We live in each other and trust in each other.
Yeah.
Regardless of the culture, of country, of ethnicity, of race.
He has it right.
Yeah.
100%.
We all together in the same spot. You know?
It doesn't
Yeah.
even matter what language you speak.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We speak the same language in there.
Yes. Queixinho has it 100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I go like I don't know if you guys have been out of the country. I haven't, but and trained. But I go to Hawaii, and I train out there. I trained with at Maui Jiu Jitsu, and the coach at the time was Joel Bowie, and Joel and I rolled, and it was intense. And by the way, he worked me pretty good.
Yeah.
But still, we know that.
Yeah.
And we know, and then I go to California, same thing. I go to California, and I got like Julio. Julio kicks the crap out of me.
Yeah.
But we have this such common bond. It's so great that we have jiu-jitsu. It's global.
Yeah.
It's so great. I cannot wait to go out of this country and train. Yeah, and that's going to be my next step.
Yeah.
Just because I know I want to train with somebody that we don't know each other's language whatsoever.
Yeah.
But we're going to train.
Yeah.
But I do have affiliate in Mexico and
That was Sangho when he first signed up.
Sangho.
True,
Shout out to
man.
Sangho.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sangho.
Sangho Lee. This is the second time he gets acknowledged at the podcast. He's a
Gets
great
props.
guy, though.
He's a
man.
nice guy.
He's an amazing human being. That he came to my school, was on a scholarship, or I don't know if it's a scholarship. I don't know how they call it when they come from another country.
Like a what do you call
Student visa, work visa kind of thing.
no, like a student.
Experience something, no?
Yeah.
Work experience.
Yeah. It's kind
No,
of like a
his country paid him to
Yeah.
come here to be educated.
exchange, like an
Oh,
exchange
okay.
student kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he came and he had no English at all.
None.
Zero
Yeah.
English. He
What
comes
do you
in.
do?
All he cared, he wanted to do jiu-jitsu.
He could pick up chicks, though.
Now he's even speaking Portuguese now.
He's speaking Portuguese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's
speaking Portuguese
right.
now. Yeah,
That's
for
right.
good reason.
For very good reason.
For very good reasons.
Yeah.
That's good.
But Sangho was that person that came from another country that just wanted to do jiu-jitsu, and then now he and then he went to Brazil and went back to Korea.
Yeah.
And that's the type of relationship that jiu-jitsu has with other people. It's fucking there it is.
There it is.
It's
Bam. Hit
fucking
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
That
It's priceless.
it's
Yeah.
priceless. It's
I
priceless.
remember one time you and I were in Vegas. Back when they used to do the Vegas Open. They had Vegas Open twice a year.
Yeah.
And we would take a
Remember
big team, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember that.
freaking
Yeah.
big
That's
team. It
good,
was
man.
so much
That
fun.
was amazing.
But I remember we're sitting there and we're having a couple drinks after the tournament, and there was just something
Hundreds
about
of drinks.
there was just something about that first conversation, because you and I became friends pretty quick, right? But I mean, that was like when we were still getting to know each other. It was my first year at White Belt or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But there was just something about the way you said it. I asked you, like, what is it about jiu-jitsu that made you open your own academy? And the way you said, I just love jiu-jitsu. It was like you were talking about one of your kids. The same look on your face, the same feeling, the same emotion came out as if you were talking, because when you talk about your kids, you have that emotion.
Yeah.
And it was so real to me. And I was like, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. Like, I just knew it. You know what I mean? Was there a moment when you guys felt like this is it? Like, this is all I don't want to climb Everest. I don't want to fucking swim the ocean. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to do this.
Yeah.
Is there a moment when you guys thought
I
about that?
actually don't remember a moment that I wasn't thinking like that. Like, since I've done jiu-jitsu for since I was 16 years old, so
Yeah.
I was working to make money, and then I was training to be a champion, or to get better. To have a something that I love, like to do something that I really like, I really enjoy to be there.
Yeah.
And I
He's-
never really thought like, oh, this is gonna be my end of the road, but I was just so excited doing.
Yeah.
But he's the extreme epitome of the American dream.
Yes.
Oh,
He really
yeah.
is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, to leave, we've known each other for probably a decade, but I don't know your childhood, and I don't know where you were at when you were young and how the struggles were. But to leave
Yes.
Brazil, wherever your situation may be, and live now, and drive a Tesla.
Yeah.
that was a dream.
Well, talk about that. And we'll get back to the origin, like when we knew we wanted to do this the rest of our lives. But talk about a little bit about where you're from. Like, I don't know this origin story.
So, I born and grew up in Rio de Janeiro, is a neighbor that we call Tijuca, and also it's like a big Tijuca, which is like all other areas, that includes to to the big Tijuca.
Mm.
And I grew up more specific in the neighborhood which they call the Maracanã, which is the big stadium of, you know, like famous stadium of soccer. And that's where I live. I grew up and live my whole life in Brazil, you know, and until I moved until 24, until I was 24.
Your family never moved from that place?
No,
From that area.
After my dad passed away in 2019, my mother moved a little bit, but still in the same area.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still. And my brother is living in São Paulo now because it's for his business. It's a little better to be in São Paulo, you know. But my mother is still living in Rio de Janeiro, in the same location, same area.
Wow. Okay. And what was it like, you know, growing up? Is it, you know, I don't know the real area. Is it like a poor area? Is it like rich, or what kind of area is it?
So this area, that is rich areas and poor areas. You know, it's like a middle line. Let's say it that way.
Okay.
And definitely not the richest area of Rio. Not close to the beach. It's like the north side.
Yeah.
But my parents, they come from the northeast, which is like from, you know, Kimura area, you know, in Natal. My family is from Paraíba, from João Pessoa, my dad and my mom. They both moved to Rio, you know, trying to chase their dreams and, you know, follow their dreams and try to make a life, you know, especially like 40, 50 years ago. In this area, the northeast, you know, it was really rough. It's really hard to make money to live. So my dad and my mother, they moved and they met each other in Rio.
Oh,
know?
cool. And
my dad, he used to drive a taxi, you know, he used to be a taxi driver. And my mother didn't work until like her 30s years old. Before she was just like taking care of the family at home. But until her 30 years old, she didn't work, and then she started doing pedicure and manicure, you know, like taking care of like
like doing nails.
Yeah, doing nails and stuff like that. And she's still doing that until today, you know. My dad, after some time, he got a little tired of the tax, of the driving thing, and then he started working in a bar. He bought a bar with a business partner. Not really big, nothing too big, but that's basically how we live, you know, like all the time, having my dad and my mother working to bring food to the home. You always rent. You never really had the like opportunity to buy a house. And now today, after years, you know, after my dad passed away, we finally work together, me and my brother, to buy a house to my mother.
Awesome,
you know,
man.
so we always live expecting to get to that point. You know, to have a house. You know, my dad, unfortunately, he worked really hard. He did his best. You know, not a lot of experience, not a lot of experience with money, of investment and stuff like that. He always thought it was better to buy a car, you know, and drive to work and then buy a house. You know, but that was his mentality. You know, but I can complain. We never had problems with food. I always had food at the plate. You know, always had a place to live. You know, even if the situation wasn't the best, but they support me. And my mother, they support me all the time. You know, to train, to compete, and then I'm here. You know, like I felt, you know, jiu-jitsu would be the best way for me to succeed, to make my life a little better.
Yeah.
You know what? I see the culture of his culture, because I've been in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I've been around Brazilians a long time, and I see their culture and I see how much they care about making sure that their kids are finding their ways out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying ways out, but finding better for themselves. And his parents did a great job, because his brother is like very successful, and now Queixinho is very successful. Yeah. And so that's great. And now he's passing that down to his students, because he's got some dreamers. He's got Mateus, and he's got Kevin.
Yeah.
World-class
athletes. Yeah.
World-class. I think that's the plan, you know, we share.
Exactly. But see, that all starts with his parents, because his parents had a dream. If you guys followed his story, had a dream of leaving, and they didn't even leave together. They met each other trying to find a dream.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they found each other, and then they lived that dream, and then now their kids are living that dream, and they made it even bigger because now both their kids are so successful.
Yeah.
Do you have any more siblings? I don't even know that.
No, just me.
Just
and my
you two.
brother,
Yeah, okay, that's right.
Okay.
I
And
did
said
know
your
that.
brother's older, right?
Yeah,
2 years?
he's 2 years old.
2 years old.
Just
Yeah.
turned 39.
Yeah. So, John, when did you like figure out when like this is it? This is what I want to do. Because you were in a different industry when we first met.
I was.
Yeah. I bet it's hard to take that decision, at some point, like of your life, you already have your business, your stuff going on, your life,
Right.
your family.
No, you can just walk
Just
out.
go.
Just walk out.
No,
right across
I
the
don't
way.
want to be. I want to.
We're
gonna
talk behind your back, homie.
No, turn it
Don't
off.
be
All
jealous.
right. Let me pause it. Let me pause it.
All right.
All right. We're not pausing shit. We're just gonna.
Because he needs a beer too.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
We paused it. It's paused.
Give me your headphones. I'm going to the bathroom.
Oh my god. Okay. So narcissist much?
Hold on, I'm plugging it.
Yeah. We can pause it. No big
You
deal.
want a beer?
Yes, please.
All right.
I gotta pee.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got one across the way. We have one in the master bedroom. We have one downstairs. Help yourself. All right. So
And we're back.
So
By the way, John had to use the restroom.
yeah,
I did. I'm old man.
John screwed this up.
I don't know what happened. I gotta pee sometimes now for no reason.
So
You know.
John, we were talking about like the moment when we knew like we wanted to do jiu-jitsu like for our career. When was that moment, and when did you know like you like you were in love with this shit?
It was pretty early on, but the real moment was so I had been training. So in Colorado, we trained in the back of a dispensary for a while. I was in the marijuana business before I started jiu-jitsu for a long time. And my friend Gabe, who's a brown belt under Megaton, amazing human being. We'd close up shop and we'd go in the back, and he would invite all his friends, and they would show me stuff. And I trained for almost like 2.5 years in a kind of a club setting. I was very fortunate to have that because they would invite people from all over and high level guys, and I was just new and hungry to learn.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that told me to stop playing top. And anyways, so about 2.5 years into it, I went to an open mat at Ethan Day's school where I got my blue belt. And I signed a waiver and I hopped on a mat. And all my students, I tell this story to everybody. All my students are, my first role was with a white belt, right? Another white belt. He was younger than me, and I did pretty well. I feel good. 2.5 years in.
Yeah.
And my next round was with Leanna Dietrich, and she was a female brown belt, Ethan's wife. I had no idea. Very sweet girl,
Yeah.
And she absolutely murked me. And everything I thought I knew about and I wrestled in high school. I was a physical guy. I was still about 245 pounds maybe at the time, because I was kind of heavy when I started. And man, at that point, I went home and I told my wife at the time, I was like, man, everything I thought I knew about life is completely out the window.
A lie.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And I've been chasing it ever since because it was her technique and her anticipation and her mind and her being in such control of her body, but it felt like sorcery.
Wow.
You know, and that was the moment. And I'm
that's
still
when
working
you
on
were
it.
in. Yeah.
That's when I
of
was in.
jiu-jitsu, right? The ego.
Yeah.
The ego.
Yeah.
Because I thought I knew some stuff, man. And this little tiny, kind-hearted girl, sweet beforehand, sweet afterwards, same thing, absolutely murdered me in the round.
Yeah.
But hey, you did really good, and this is what and I was like, man.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to chase that feeling ever since. Because you guys know this. When you hit a good jiu-jitsu technique, there's no effort involved. It's like a perfect golf swing or a perfect baseball swing. It's just
Yeah.
and when you feel
that's a perfect analogy. That's perfect, just like a perfect swing.
I'm always trying to chase that.
Because you swing a bat for like the same way over and over and over, and a golf club over and over and over the same way.
Once you feel that, it's like, man, there's something about this that's so.
I think that's what made me fall in love.
Yeah.
That learning the new stuff and being able to apply whenever you get the perfect the perfect read.
Yeah.
You fall in love, like, wow, I just learned it.
Yeah.
And I was in a point that I was learning techniques and applying the same day and working. I was like, whoa, that's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for like someone that is starting like you, everybody is starting getting beat up by everybody.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to go through that process. You can't skip over that. That's a huge part of this.
That's the realization of jiu-jitsu and different arts is that
Make you
there's
humble, you know.
what's that now?
Make you humble.
Yes,
Humble.
That's the realization of jiu-jitsu. And some different sports, there's no realization. Like, you know, when you're fighting to not get put to sleep, when you're fighting that your arm doesn't get broken, when you're trying to figure out ways of how to escape, that is like, people don't know how brilliant that is, because I don't care, you know, the mats, it doesn't matter. When you walk on the mats and you have like, I mean, my mats have had so many different categories of life. You know, I've had police officers, I've had doctors, dentists, people that have come out of prison. I have people that are blue collar, every walks of life, every walks of life. And it does not matter. It does not matter. That technique that you learn, that technique and that escape that you learn can apply to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And that's the beauty of my art, because, you know, I'm not college educated, and yet I have these college educated people. I mean, I'm not saying this as some type of ego, but I have people that come to me that are like running companies, like, coach. And when they tell me coach, it's like, wow, it feels really good.
Yeah.
You only see that in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
my favorite thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where we're gonna go.
You know, bow to you.
That's
Yeah.
it's so crazy. And
It's humbling experience.
Yeah.
humbling.
Humble
Humbling
experience.
experience.
So that's crazy, the humbling part, because it's like reverse.
It never stops.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's like reverse, because I watched them drive into my parking lot with a fucking 30, no, not even 30, like $100,000 car.
Yeah.
They drive in with a $100,000 car, and they just want to learn.
Yeah.
That they don't. It's
The value.
It's so beautiful.
Value.
Yes, the value. Yes.
value.
Very good point. Yeah.
Value. And that's the beautiful part of jiu-jitsu. It's so beautiful, because you can go to all these different cities and you have all these colleges that are going to educate you. And yes, you can find jiu-jitsu, whatever, but jiu-jitsu takes more than just a college education, because, you know, they rank each belt like in different college educations.
Yeah.
But when you get to the peak, and not everybody peaks the right way, because there's some instructors that really don't put the time and effort in. There's some black belts that don't, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about jiu-jitsu. I'm just saying that there's some people that put the effort in, some people that don't put the effort in, just like you, in any job.
Like anywhere else.
Yeah, just like any
Just
other
like
job.
just
yeah.
like anything else.
Yeah.
Just like anything else. But man, jiu-jitsu just
Jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu, people in people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Job, and where you want to get in the job. If you want to sit here at your job and just pick up a paycheck, you're going to be a black belt that's not going to excel and
Right.
not going to go anywhere with it.
Right.
But when you have that mentality, hey, I want to keep on learning, that's when it changes the game.
Yeah, and I think that's something that it's not a very common thing. It's like you're doing any kind of vocation, right? Any kind of job that you have out there, if you're in sales or if you're a manager or whatever, the thing that separates good instructors from average instructors is the amount of time you put into studying. So we at our academy, we have a 13-week curriculum that's already written out. It's rotating. We haven't changed it in 2 years. It's just something that we rotate through. But I study every one of those techniques every single time before I teach it. Because I always find, like, if I study Hodger Gracie, or if I study, Henzo Gracie, or if I study, somebody, I study some of your video, you always have something that I can bring to the table that's going to set me apart from that other black belt who's not studying. And I'm talking about, like, I'll wake up at, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and it's on my mind. And I'll just get up and I'll start watching video. I'll come in here and I'll just start watching video. Because I owe it to my students to be that instructor, right? I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. That's what white belts don't understand.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
And you put it beautifully when you said it's a, you say it. I can't.
Yeah, you say it.
Yeah.
Lifelong pursuit of unattainable perfection is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
It's pretty simple.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's
Can you repeat that? Because I want everybody to hear that.
lifelong pursuit of unattainable perfection is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It is.
And I don't give a shit if it's an armbar from guard. It's a lifetime pursuit.
And it could be anything. It's
Yeah.
whatever whatever you spend your time in, you're going to get good at.
Yeah.
But there's something
piano.
different
Doesn't
about
Yeah.
this thing that I'm so grateful to be a part of that is so positively addicting in a way that you can't. I'm a hippie, and I tell my people that I meet, it's hard for me to explain what jiu-jitsu really feels like. Like, because I can't tell you what it feels like to be in love. You got to feel that.
Yeah.
True.
So it has that in its own weird way because we're practicing simulated murder,
Right.
which seems weird.
Every day.
And every day. And and my hippie friends like, bro, like I don't understand the duality of this. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, man? And it's like, it doesn't come from a place of aggression for
Right.
me. It doesn't. It used to. But now it's just being in control of my mind and be control of my emotions and just trying to be the best human I can be.
Yeah.
And the lesson, anyways,
You mentioned
it's
something
amazing.
that remind me of one of the reasons I started training. I gotta be honest, it was because it was really famous. Jiu-Jitsu was really famous in Rio because of the pit boys. The guys that want to do Jiu-Jitsu to use it in the streets. Using to get in the fight.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was in that group of guys. And they used to get in trouble. Normal. I was 16, 15.
I was looking for it.
Yeah. And
Stupid.
then one of the
Stupid.
reasons that I did jiu-jitsu, I want to be like those guys, I want to be ready to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reality is when I start training, in my first week of jiu-jitsu, I compete. My first tournament.
First week.
And I won. I had one fight. I won by one advantage.
Figures. He always wins.
Of course.
Amazing.
And that
Amazing.
changed my life. Literally, I can't remember getting into a fight after that. Maybe one or two, but not like I used to.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think once you understand what you're capable to do, what you're able to do with the jiu-jitsu, you don't have that fear anymore. You don't feel like you need to prove anything else. We all know what we're capable to.
Yeah.
You can kill a person outside. If you want. If
If you really chose to, yeah.
But it's a humble confidence
It
that
is.
comes with
It
it. It's
is.
not
It
an
is.
arrogance
It
at
is.
all.
It's not.
But that point is so important. It's so important because we can be out there. Somebody messes with your friend, and you sit back for a while because you don't. I mean, not putting hands on or whatever, but we watch like an argument like just escalate,
yeah.
and we're just sitting there just relaxing because you know what? Once we get involved, the fight's over.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. It doesn't matter if I'm old because Alex and I, all three of us, you're a youngster.
You're a young guy.
All three of us, we would walk in and people would not even give us a second thought. They're like,
Right.
It's just
"Fuck
crazy because I remember what I used to think before I started jiu-jitsu, and I thought I was pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good luck with that.
And
Yeah.
my old self would get his shit kicked out of him by this guy.
Well, I'll give you an example. We were in Vegas for Master Worlds, and Amy wanted to get ice cream. We always go to the Gear Deli. It's like right by like the Harrah's or whatever. There's like a little strip there.
Huge factory, yeah.
So we were walking down, and we got into a confrontation. And it was nothing that we did. There was just a guy, he was drunk and doesn't know how to be drunk in public, whatever. And he's with a group of people. And I try really hard not to wear jiu-jitsu stuff when I'm out in Vegas, but I ran out of shit, so I was wearing a jiu-jitsu shit. So I'm trying.
By the way, I always wear jiu-jitsu shit in Vegas.
So we got into a confrontation. The guy that was being belligerent was behind his friends, and I'm talking to the friends, and I'm like, listen, I'm good. Like, let's do this. Like, whatever. But we can't see, because it was a holiday weekend. I was like, we're not going to see a judge till Tuesday. Like, I'm good. Like, whatever you guys want to do, let's do it. Right. And one of the people I was with them, they saw like my shirt, and they're like, jiu-jitsu, what the hell is that? I was like, that's an early night for you. That's what that is. That's all I said. Right? That's all I said. And it was one of those things, like my heart rate didn't spike. I don't want any confrontation. I really don't. But when it comes down to it, if you lay hands on me or my wife or my friends, you're gonna have a bad day.
That's that authenticity of it. You want to know it works if you had to defend yourself in a real life situation. But it's like Mr. Miyagi said, that's popular now, right?
Yeah.
We train so we don't have to fight.
That's right. That's right.
I don't want to get in a street fight. I got 3 classes to teach tonight. I fight my best friends every day. We slap hands afterwards. We go get a drink. We get some food. Hang out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Get it out.
I was using logic. Like, I can't see a judge till Tuesday. Dude, no, I can't do that, man. Let's not do this. So, but yeah. So you guys, I'm really curious to hear this. Like, let's talk about tournaments, and let's talk about encouraging students to do tournaments. I'm not really big on like having a tournament like centered facility. Like, I want people to just enjoy training, but I do once people commit to doing tournaments, I put on a different face. Do you guys have a different policy or different look that you guys give your students when they say, yeah, I'm going to compete next week or next month or whatever? Like, do you change your teaching style, or do you guys stay kind of the same approach? Just an approach to tournaments.
To be honest, I do the opposite. When they don't want to compete, I take a look on them, because the training that we have been doing at the gym is being very, very intense.
Yeah.
So I gotta keep my eyes on the people that don't want to get in, in a hard training. Of course, I try to balance that. I not really push my students 100% to compete.
Yeah.
I know. It's almost impossible for me to don't lead by example on that point, because I compete every month or every big tournament, and I'm always trying to push my competitors, and but I don't really push everybody to compete, especially the white belts. I don't want them to have that experience until I feel like I feel ready. I feel that they're ready.
You're ready to teach them like what they need to know.
No. I mean, until I feel like they are ready to do it. If they want to compete, I always tell them to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then I kind of push a little bit more, or just say no right away, depending on the person. I know if they're not ready, I'll say no. Wait a little bit. I mean, of course, I'm going to say in a good way. Wait a little bit more. I get a little bit more prepared. But whenever they're on that line, I kind of give some advice.
Okay.
But training-wise, I don't change much. I just make sure they're training.
Yeah.
If they're training, I don't want them to, especially white, blue, purple. I don't want them to change their lives.
Yeah.
I was even talking with one of my students. She was like, her name is Jody. She competes all the time, and then she just competed on the Southwest, and she got second. And she was asking me, what do you think? I'm kind of busy with work and schedule and school, and I was like, you're not always gonna be able to get 100% to compete, right?
Yeah.
If you like to compete, if you want to compete, just sign up, And take the pressure off your shoulders.
Yeah.
And thinking that the person on the other side is going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
She's going to be working. She's going to be taking care of the family. She's going to be dealing with training, diet, You are on the same page, There is no like, oh, I need to focus 100%. I got to drop my job. Change my life. Or, take a break of the kids, This is real life. And she compete. She fought good. She lost, but she was happy. you know? And the fun fact, it was like the year ago, she competed at the same tournament, and she won the first fight, but she was so nervous, so anxious that she I don't think you remember that she stayed on the with the doctors for a long time. But I think she started feeling sick.
Oh wow!
And she lost
Afterwards or before?
After the first
After.
fight,
After
the first match.
before the second match.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Or maybe
But
actually
she
did
got
the
through
second
that.
fight, and then she started feeling sick, and then she couldn't move her body. She was
So I
what
got.
happened exactly?
I have to say that the culture has changed.
Yeah.
The culture has changed. Okay, so Queixinho has had his school. I mean, he's been teaching for a long time, but in Arizona, the culture has changed a little bit because when I first started, everybody, well, maybe the culture in my school changed, but everybody wanted to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really easy because we all followed the lead. I competed all the time, and then I wanted my students to compete all the time, and then so when I first started my school from 2010 to about 2015, 80% of my students competed. 20% of my students didn't compete. Now it's reversed.
Yeah.
Because things are different now. Because I'm understanding more about business and knowing because before I was stuck on like a certain amount of students and nobody wanted to stay because the training was way too hard.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
People lost a lot of students because they don't want to be on that mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's,
Everybody.
that's okay. That's fine.
Well, I want to thank like Joe Rogan and all the people.
Jocko.
Jocko for sure. Everybody that's putting jiu-jitsu out there.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't like when new people come in because they hear the podcast or they hear the stars that are doing it and all these different mainstream people that are doing it. We should not make it tough for them anymore because we want them as students. We want them to know the art.
Yeah.
And then once they get
we
there.
want to spread jiu-jitsu, right? We want everybody to do jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Yeah.
And feel comfortable doing.
And so if you have hard classes and if you're just a jiu-jitsu or just a competition-oriented school, then you're not going to make any money. And
Correct.
I realized that for the
Correct.
first probably like 8 years of my opening my business because we were killers.
Yeah.
But
I threw up a couple times in my first week.
That's good for some time, for a little, time that
Yes.
you're still in the environment, but then
But that's what you were saying, Paul.
I want to go back so bad.
Jiu-jitsu has changed over the years. Jiu-jitsu has changed over the years.
Yeah.
This is the way.
it's evolving.
This is evolving.
Yeah.
And it continues to evolve, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. It never stops changing.
Yeah.
Never. There's always something that
No,
we
yeah.
don't know.
Whether it be
He
business,
business or-
it doesn't matter whether it be business, because you know what, we're getting to the point where we're not even close to karate and taekwondo. Not even close.
Not yet.
You have to understand that we're not even close.
Yeah.
But we're getting close to where we're having in the proximity. We're having like about in 10 miles we have 5 schools.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
but karate and taekwondo still have schools on every corner.
Yeah.
So we're getting to the point where we're having a lot of jiu-jitsu schools, and not all of them are the best. Great, because we all know what jiu-jitsu really is.
Are you trying to say you have the best school? Is that what you're saying?
I have the best school.
It's pretty good. That's why I signed up. I'm just saying.
DJJ.com.
Oh, wait a minute. In-house tournament.
No, I'm not. I'm
He was
just.
about to roll up his sleeves right now.
It's self.
I'm very happy with the success for everything in Arizona.
Yeah.
You guys are killing.
Well,
You know what? Before you came to Arizona, I had everything on my shoulders, and I'll just say this: I had all these schools under me, and every time I went to a school, and I'm an older guy, and so I'm getting beat up by everybody because everyone wants to kill me, and so I roll with like blue belts, brown belts, purple belts, black belts, and I'm just getting fucked up because everybody wants to beat up the black belt.
Yeah.
that's why they're there.
And then when you came in, I was like,
Thank God.
and I was like, try to beat him up.
Good luck, boys.
And now we have like, 20 black belts, maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Just in my school, sometimes at 11 a.m., I have like 10,
Wow.
8 to 10 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me, Kevin, Josh, Esdras, Aleph, Livio.
Yeah.
Liz,
Elizabeth.
Clay.
Yes.
Hai, Felipe Hai.
World-class athletes.
Yeah.
And it's another cliche, but what other sport, art, whatever you want to call it, do you have access
Yeah, that's
to
the
those types of athletes?
100%.
I'm a football fan, man. I can't just go throw the football
No.
around with,
Go say hi to Tom Brady and
Yeah,
throw a catch
bro.
with him.
Yeah. In
You can
jiu-jitsu,
roll with fucking Buchecha. You can roll a Queixinho.
Dude, I was
It's so
we roll all
crazy.
the time.
Yeah.
We roll all the time.
yeah. I was in the
I don't call it rolling. I call it getting
beat up.
learning. We're learning.
learning a lesson.
There you go.
Learning a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually in the bullpen. I was a purple belt, and I was in the bullpen with Leandro Lowe. Rest in peace.
Leandro, I was just thinking about him. I don't
Gosh.
know why you guys started talking about
Yeah,
him.
I love the guy. He was my man crush. You know this. I was like, he was my guy, and he was in the Open where he got hurt, and then he and Buchecha closed out. I think that may have been his last championship. May have been.
2019 or
Yeah.
2000? Yeah,
It had 19, I think. it
Wow,
was.
and you're in the bullpen with
I
it.
was in the bullpen with him when he was doing the Open, and like I would win, he would win. We'd be in the bullpen, and there might have been 2 other people in there, and I'm geeking the fuck. I'm like, I can't get a picture with the guy right now. I got to compete, but it was where else can you be in a bullpen or a sideline or anywhere with a professional athlete,
Or actually hold a conversation.
dude, yeah,
Yeah.
With a
the
world-class
best. It's the
athlete.
best. World class.
And
It's going to change. That's why we got to enjoy what we have
enjoy
right
it
now.
while we can.
Enjoy it while we can.
Yeah, and it's evolving.
It's
It's evolving. Like
Yeah.
they're starting. I'm seeing the separation between the professional athletes and the amateur athletes. But for now, man, I'm enjoying the shit out of this.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's growing so much.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
nice.
I'm gonna keep working on it. And as the new guy in the room, I just gotta say, man, I owe it to this man across from me, Paul Nava, first and foremost.
We all.
Realistically,
we all-
that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got so much respect for you, Alex, because I signed up at his program because of you.
Oh,
I
thank
think I met you first. And then to be, have this level of human, and it's not just jiu-jitsu, because I love learning jiu-jitsu from you guys, but you guys are the type of human beings that I want to be.
Yeah.
You're good parents,
That's
you're
a good
good
point.
Yeah,
businessmen,
I
you're
like
just
that.
I mean,
good humans.
We choose
Yeah.
to be here.
We choose to be here.
We choose to
Yes.
be here.
So you know what? One thing that it's hard to find a group of people. Well, I don't know how to put it. I just feel so comfortable with my team now because when I'm hanging out with Queixinho, Samir, and Milton, when I hang out with them specifically,
Yeah.
they don't like get in this whole tangent and start talking Portuguese because they know I don't speak it. They always include me, which is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is huge. And
Yeah.
I'm always sitting right next to them. They're always right across the way from me, coaching me when I'm on the mats. And I don't know how I see it, but I'm just saying that that's what makes me feel comfortable being on this team, because now I'm not saying no longer. I'm just going to say I see it out there that we're equals.
Yeah.
And I'm treated really great. My opinion matters. When he tells me like something, I accept it and I try to figure out things. And then when I tell him something, he's not saying, you're an American. Or,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm American, true.
Are you excluding him?
American, true.
How dare
What
you?
are talking
Okay.
about?
I messed up.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but John, one thing I want to bring up before, John, I want to get your philosophy on your students competing. I don't want to get off topic, but to your point, Paul, I was, we did an Ares open mat today, and every month our association in Arizona gets together and we have an open mat and we just kind of invade each other's space and have a giant, party basically, and it's amazing. I don't know whose idea that was, but great freaking idea. Because
Like they say, we have a storm. Right? Storm.
yeah, the storm. But you know what that's going to do? That's going to bring our team closer together. Closer together. And I know that's a big thing for you. You want to bring the team closer together. But one thing I want to point out at Open Mat, the hardest thing, we were talking about this, the hardest thing is about being an academy owner is getting everybody the hell out of there when the class is over. But we went...
Don't have a shower.
Yeah, don't have a shower.
No shower.
So we went past our 2 hours. But everybody's having such a good time. I just, let it play out. But I went outside. I started cleaning up like tables and chairs and stuff like that, putting stuff away. And I've got the head of the association, one of the heads of the association, coming out and being like, "Hey, what can I do to help?" I'm like, "I don't know. Take care of that pop up." And he did. It's very.
I sat there and ate my hot dog.
But he could have very easily been like, "That's someone else's job."
Actually,
right?
when they were done, I came in and says, "You guys need help."
we were wrapping up.
Right there.
Yeah, we were wrapping up. But that he could have very easily not done that. But I mean, I really appreciate that very much from you. I mean, super humble guy. When we talk about humility, I mean, honestly, like, there is some fake humility out there, and he doesn't have that. Like, he doesn't have fake humility. It's
Jiu-Jitsu doesn't allow fake humility.
No, it doesn't. It really
you will be
doesn't.
revealed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
what's your
That's it.
philosophy on students competing? Do you encourage that? Do you
Yes,
discourage
I
that?
encourage competing, and the balance, because I want my culture and the environment of my facility to be open to everybody. Obviously,
Yeah, just get a little bit closer or pull the mic.
Yeah,
back
of
towards
course.
you. Yeah.
so it's important to me, first of all, that there's no hero worship around my facility.
100%.
Right, I'm no different than my instructors and my students. We're all just trying to be the best versions of ourselves,
Yeah.
and that kind of leads into that culture. If you want to be a competitor, great. Of course, I love the competitors. But if you want to be the hobbyist and you want to be a family person that just enjoys the community and learn some self defense and get in shape, that's a big part of it. But as far as competition, minimum 4 days a week training.
Yeah. Same.
And on top of that, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about game plan, strategy a little bit. And
you know what? I was talking to Paul about this yesterday. About, like, you want to be a competitor four times a week, you said.
Minimum.
I agree, minimum. But when I first moved to Arizona, when I took over Phoenix BJJ, which is now Ares BJJ Goodyear, we have those type of members that comes once a week, twice a week, sometimes once a month, twice a month. And that was hard because I had guys like 24 years and they still white belts. And I have to go hard on my philosophy or what I believe, And I start telling everybody, like in the lineup, hey guys, 20, 30 people. Hey guys, here's the thing. You pay your membership every month here, right? So if you want to make your money worth, you gotta train 3 times a week at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Why?
Minimum requirement,
Because
just even at the hobbyist level.
We all have a goal, right?
Yep.
When you go to train jiu-jitsu, we all have a goal. Not the same, not always the same.
Some people never show up and they just buy all your apparel.
Exactly. That's beautiful, but you're
Right.
taking advantage of your money,
Yeah.
Like if you're paying like a monthly fee and showing up once a month, you're getting the benefit of the investment. No, and then that's what I made a huge change. I started pushing my students to train more.
Yeah.
Of course, that made me work more, but that's good. That's what I'm here. I mean, that's what I'm there. And I started having like a more attendance on my class, you know, and people improving fast, losing weight, having like getting to their goals, like losing weight, getting ready for competitions, or just having like the therapy,
Yeah,
that's that's some of people's goal, and that's one of the kind of concept that I push to my students. But of course, if they want to compete, they need to push a little bit more. They need to train more. But I think for everybody, in jiu-jitsu, 3 times a week would be the minimum to see the progress, to see the improvement, and make your money worth.
And truly give yourself the opportunity to fall in love with the art. Because I think, I
see the results.
Yeah, see the result. I always joke that I want to live in the world where people that show up twice a week live in, because like, oh, I do jiu-jitsu, right? But one thing I learned, like when I got my purple belt, I really immersed myself in jiu-jitsu. I completely sold out. Like, so I just that's all I want to do. Like I said, I don't want to go deep sea fishing. I don't want to fucking climb Everest. I don't want to do any, this is all I want to do. But it started when I started immersing myself in the art. And what I realized is the more I showed up, the more I realized how little I know, right? Like you show up more and more and more, and like, oh my gosh, like there is so much to learn.
And that's what I tell my students. Like, no matter what, guys, just cross that door. And I will do the job for you guys. I will push you guys to your limits. Just come by, just cross the door and leave everything with me, because I will push you guys to your limits. I'm gonna push you guys to make sure you guys do the right thing, and of course you're gonna see the result. And I tell them, no matter what is your goal, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
If you wanna get to the goal, if you wanna reach to the point,
you
need to help me to help you out.
I love it.
That's the deal.
Help me to help you. That's really it, right?
And it appeals to my hippie mentality, peace and love. Like I truly want to help people, and to be able to be in a position to where I can share this amazing thing that changed my life.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
So many ways.
I can't even express it with words.
Yeah.
It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
It is.
It's not lost on me.
It's super powerful because, just a small, just a little bit of a briefing of before I got into jiu-jitsu, my life was a wreck. Even though I was doing Muay Thai, it still was a wreck because there was really no discipline with Muay Thai. I mean, there was the discipline, but you were not accountable because you were getting that stripes and you had that camaraderie. MMA and stand-up is a little bit different, in my opinion. I don't want to offend anybody, but in my opinion, that the camaraderie was a little bit different with stand up and with the ground art.
It's just hard to get punched and kicked in the face at 100% effort.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're going to hurt your hands, you're going to hurt your training partners.
And then talk to the guy afterwards.
But I think jiu-jitsu is unique, you know, like
yeah.
comparing to other martial arts, you know, with all the respect, I don't see their relationship in any other martial arts. You know?
Me either. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it did change my life. Everybody says that cliche, jiu-jitsu changes lives, and they tease about it. But man,
it's for real, though.
it's for
Yeah.
real.
Real.
It's for real.
It's for
Yeah.
real.
I don't even know where I'd be if I hadn't found
Yeah.
this thing.
Well, I would.
Yeah.
I know where I would be.
Yeah.
Far away from me.
Yeah.
Not doing a podcast.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
be saying, "Yes, Your Honor." No, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yes, it was me.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that jiu-jitsu does change lives, and that's an important part of this because, man,
It's something that's bigger than myself, and I think you guys obviously understand this.
Yeah.
And I need that in my life.
Yeah.
I need something that's outside of myself that just keeps me grounded and gives me a reason. And I lived in the weight room as a kid. I was always an athlete. It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I needed a why.
Yeah.
And, find your why. If it's jiu-jitsu, it's great. It's going to be enough.
Yeah.
But that's what it just kept me on this path.
Yeah. Did you play college sports?
I never played in college.
Okay.
I was too short.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I was pretty good at football,
Yeah.
and I wrestled, and I played baseball as long as I couldn't hit the curveball when it got past 70 miles per hour. Though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I really, it is a cliche, man, and I just never stopped training.
Yeah.
Whatever in my life, the obstacles that happened, and I never in a million years would think I'd be sitting around this table having a podcast.
Me either.
Talking about having an academy.
Yeah.
Like I literally signed up because I was like, come to the jiu-jitsu class. I'm like,
Awesome.
that sounds
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
All right, try it out. And I just never stopped training.
Yeah.
And it led to all these amazing things.
Yeah, I think the unique part of it is like the possibilities are endless because we're in the same bullpen with world-class athletes, because we're sitting across from table from legends in the sport, because we're like this big community. Like anybody can be in our shoes if they choose to pursue it.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It all starts with a decision you make, right? Do you want, like I always use this, like, do you want to climb Everest or you want to be the best version of yourself? Right? Because I spent a lot of time pretending to be something I'm not. And jiu-jitsu like peeled me open and like showed me who I was.
It reveals yourself
Yes.
to yourself.
Yes.
No fake.
Yeah.
You cannot
And I
fake it.
fucking love that guy. I fucking love who I am. And I would have never found it. Paul, you changed my life, bro. Like 100%. When you stepped off the mat, honestly, when you stepped off the mat and you started talking to me, we're sitting side by side. I'll never forget the conversation because we've had so many since then. And you're in the same position. You're like hovering over me like this. But it's the same conversation, same position that we're in. But the conversations have evolved, obviously. But had you not done that, I'd probably be dead of a heart attack. And I mean that. Like you are not just my leader, my general, my mentor, but you changed my life, dude. So I don't know if that's how significant that is to you, but it's fucking significant to me and my family.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm in that conversation.
Yeah, right. But Paul, as much as he is a leader, he is merely the catalyst because jiu-jitsu is the one that will peel you open
Yes.
and show you who you are.
There's nobody, one person that's bigger than jiu-jitsu.
No,
Not one person.
not one person.
I don't even care if even the founders of jiu-jitsu, we appreciate them, but man, jiu-jitsu, what they gave us has changed so many lives.
Yeah.
Changed. I mean, we got the story with Jacare too. I mean, it's changed so many lives.
We'll continue to do so.
It will.
Yeah.
It will continue to do so because it'll bring that fake person out of you. I mean, you can have any type of person outside of jiu-jitsu just, at his job, just talking.
In the real world, people talk a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, you can't lie.
You can't
You
lie.
can't lie.
There's no
You
more
can't
lying.
lie. You
No more
can't
talking.
lie.
Doesn't matter.
I wish more people would jiu-jitsu. I hate to say this, but I wish more politicians would do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I wish more people would do jiu-jitsu because then you get to find the real person out of them. Because since jiu-jitsu, my relationships with my just in general,
Yeah.
I mean, my family, of course, my wife, my sisters, my parents, everything has gotten so much better because of jiu-jitsu, because this relationship that we build here is so good. And I realize that, man, I'm so close to John. I'm so close to Alex. I'm so close to Queixinho. I need to get closer to my dad.
Yes.
I need to get closer to my mom.
True.
Because it builds such tight relationships.
That's that trust.
Yeah.
associated
Yeah.
with it, you know,
Yeah.
and the suffering.
Yeah.
Which we
I
all
love
need.
that suffering. We need that suffering.
And as human beings, it's good to suffer. It's
Yeah.
good to not feel comfortable.
If you don't
Yeah.
suffer, you don't grow.
Yeah.
You don't grow.
Make you strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Italo made me strong today. He
He's
beat the
big,
shit out of me.
yeah,
He's
he did.
big. He's
He
big.
smashed
You
like
don't
a-
realize how big he is till he grabs you. You're like, oh shit, I'm in
Did you
trouble.
avoid his close guard?
Nope. No, actually, he played a lot of top, and he
Yeah.
passed my guard like it didn't exist. Yeah.
Hey, you did a good job though. For a while, you did
Yeah,
a
I
good
did.
job.
I didn't get submitted, but it hurt. Yeah.
I was in the same boat. He passed my guard today. He mounted me, and he was cross choking the shit out of me. But my time.
Yeah.
I got to the top.
Some asshole in the academy said, "Oh, 44 seconds left," and he like turned it on. I'm like,
I hate
shut
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
man.
you know what? I'm super proud of you too, because you guys, you guys came up in my organization, and I'm super proud because now John became. You were always my. Like when you got to purple, then all of a sudden you became my training partner. It was awesome. And then John, when he came, oh my God, it was like shit. It was tough, right, when he walked in the doors. But you guys helped me evolve my game, and then to have you guys as training partners, to have you guys to available to train with before I get prepared to for tournaments and stuff, it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Blessing. I'm not going to put him into this conversation because he just fucking kicks my ass. I call him the magician. That's his name.
He is.
We need to make that
Levels to this
stick.
thing.
We need to make that
He's
stick.
definitely the magician.
All of a sudden, like, you have a card game, and how'd that card get
How do you
here?
say magician in Portuguese?
Mágico.
Magical.
Magical?
Boom. Queixinho Magical.
Queixinho's gone. No, it's no more Queixinho.
Oh,
It's
shit.
Magical.
I don't know. I don't know.
Osvaldo,
If that can ever go
Magical.
away. Yeah, man. So, okay. So tell me about like your approach. I don't want to get too caught up in philosophy. Well, I guess it is a philosophy, but tell me about when a new student walks through the door. What is your mentality for that new student? Where do you start? Like, how do you greet them? How do you make them feel comfortable? What's your process?
Well, you know what? Actually, I appreciate the earlier conversations. You helped me out with that because you were that first student that came in.
Yeah.
And I gave you that gi, and I made you feel comfortable in that
100%.
situation.
Yeah.
Good
So-
feedback. That's
Yeah.
perfect feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So,
made me feel
I
like
prob-
I belonged.
So you guys have to talk
How
because
long
you
ago was
you
that,
gave
by
it-
the way? Did we already talk about the date when you started?
It
Okay.
was April. Gosh, I think it was like April 10th. Or,
White to Black with Paul Nava.
Yeah.
Hey,
2000
I'm around that date.
2013. How's that?
April. I start training April 20 something. 28,
Okay.
29. I remember that 2003.
Nice.
I hate being this old.
1999.
But I walked
I have
in.
kids his age.
I walked in, and again, they were training for pans, and it was fucking chaos in there. It was like awesome. I didn't know what was happening because I'm not familiar with the sport, and there was like buddy carries. I think you were doing warm-ups at the time, buddy carries and sprints and all this stuff. And I remember there was this kid, a blue belt, who was struggling, and everybody's like trying to hype him up. You know what I mean? Like, encouraging him, not not like talking shit. You know what I mean? They were just like encouraging this kid to keep going because he really wanted to stop. And I can relate because I threw up a few times my first week. But really, like, Nava walked off the mat. We sat down. We had a conversation, and I was like, I'm in. Right there, I was in.
That's
So-
the culture in the community.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
So now, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk. You guys can tell your story because my story is great. I have a
Absolutely. And I white
This
belt
is
to
just
black
one
belt.
of many.
Yeah, white belt to black belt
both
with
of
Paul
you
Nava. So.
guys. And I mean, this is an amazing room.
Yeah.
yes.
And I continue to be humbled by the type of human beings that I get to share space with.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for this thing, I wouldn't get to do as many amazing things that I could.
Yeah.
It's not lost on me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. But what about you, Q? What's your philosophy? How do you treat a brand new person walking through your door?
So the goal is always to make that person to feel like comfortable, no matter what you're doing,
Yep.
But there's people and people, like you said, you fell in love with the cows, with the war going on.
Yeah.
Some of the
That was
people
awesome.
they're like,
Yeah.
what
Yes.
the heck is going
Yeah.
on? So you gotta go slow.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta feed little by little. That's how I do. That's the philosophy of white belts don't train until like the 60 class.
Right.
White belts can train the first day. And I don't care.
Yeah.
They want to feel that. That's
They
why
want to
they're
feel that, right? So I try to get it, like in life, everything. I try to balance, and I try to protect that person, and make that person feels like comfortable, feel part of the group, feel like it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Because at first you feel like that it's a crazy thing, like you're shrimping on the ground, like,
Yeah.
And the beginning of jiu-jitsu is really hard.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they already have some kind of experience, which help us, like wrestling, judo, or if they just do like some kind of physical training, that makes them feel like they are ready to go. What I normally do, I don't allow them to train, especially if they have zero experience.
Yeah.
Not even in the trial, not even the first week or so.
By train, you mean go live.
Go
right?
live.
Yeah.
Do sparring.
Like live
do
sparring.
And
Yeah.
I always explain to them, you're going to do this first part, which is the warm-up that's going to prepare you for the, for the final part. Before the sparring, you're going to do some kind of technique workout and some drills, depending on the class. But I give them some time, and also give them the how can I say, the opportunity to say if they want to try or not.
Right.
If they feel like this, they want to do it, they that's going to help them to understand.
Yeah.
Not to sign up. And of course, sign up is what I want, but I want to know what he wants.
Yeah.
If you feel like that's going to make him more comfortable, I let them roll if they have some experience.
Yeah.
If
It's
they don't
different.
have,
Yeah. It's different if
try
they have
to-
no experience versus like they're like a D1 wrestler, right? You're going to let them
it's
roll.
a whole
Yeah.
different
If
page.
even if they're in any organized sports,
Yeah.
like even baseball, football,
Yeah. They're an
they're
athlete.
competitive.
Yeah.
They're athletes.
But
yeah.
I don't believe on that. Give him a lesson.
Yeah.
So he understand and then
Like the old days.
like
Yeah.
Like the old
believe
days.
it.
Fuck
Yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
I prefer the opposite.
Which was kind of a reason it was authenticity. Let's
Yeah.
go back to that word.
That's
It's
the
culture.
real. You want it to be real.
Sometimes, depending on the attitude.
Yeah.
Right?
That's one of the
If they
beautiful
get
things
there,
about
like,
jiu-jitsu. You
what's
can
up? I
deliver
wanna
messages without having to say anything sometimes.
Yeah.
This
know
is
that-
this is 100% true.
If
Yeah.
they want to say, I
With
want
a
to see
smile on
what's
your
up.
face.
Okay, go against John.
Go,
Yeah.
go against Kevin.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, if they kind of challenging you, like, I'm good, I'll let them go. But if they see that they have some kind of fear and they kind of afraid of try, and that way you need to watch, understand the game, and see how you play. We need some kind of skills to be on that part of the train.
Yeah.
Some people, they will understand that they will like it because I'm protecting them. Some other
Yeah.
people, they want, but that's the game. I already lost a student because he was a wrestler. Not very young, but he was a wrestler, and he wanted to train the first day. And I said no, and he ended up not coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But that's
then-
okay.
That's okay,
Yeah.
because I did what I believe, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
He'll come
But
back.
sometimes if
He'll be
they
back.
trained before jiu-jitsu, I gave them a chance. If they have a little experience, I always put them with some of my coaches, like I
Yeah.
don't let them go against other white belts.
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
the worst. You don't want to have the white belts going against
Clash.
white belts
Yeah.
in the first, days or first
Yeah.
month.
That's
because
that's bad
They
news.
have that mentality
That
that
never
they
ends
wanna,
well.
You better
wanna
have your
kill
phone,
each other.
You better
You
have your phone ready 911.
because I was the last one to get in the room. You guys all beat me up. The next one to get in the room, I'm gonna beat him up.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's a mindset.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid that, and I make them understand that they're not gonna learn going against white belts.
Beginner.
Because
As
they
a beginner,
think-
yeah.
they think the beginners because they think they're gonna have more chance.
Yeah.
I
if
talk a lot about the learning versus winning mindset.
Yeah.
Especially with the beginners.
Yeah.
Because if you come in here and try to win a lot, it's going to be very challenging, especially if you're used to winning.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's kind
tell
of an
them, hey,
equalizer.
there's no win and losing here. You're all here to help each other.
Yeah.
You're all here to grow and help each other. No, there's no competition here. Of course, it's hard because
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We grow in a world that competition is no,
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
it's-
Ego takes over.
it
Yeah.
takes over. Yeah, but I try to make them understand that they're gonna lose no matter what.
And that's part of the process. You
Yeah,
have
that's
to
part
do
of the
that
process.
to get better.
Hey Q, can I say something real quick? So
Yes.
I had a student, and her husband was a ASU swim coach, and they hired him, and they had to relocate to here because he was a swim coach, and so for ASU, and all these guys have been plucked from all different colleges or high schools from all over the world to come to ASU because ASU has a great swimming program. And so these kids came in, and these guys are always winning. They came in and did one class. These ASU swimmers, I don't want to bag on them, but I just got to say that they never came back again.
Go Devils.
Because they were they were out of their element, but because they win all the time,
Yeah.
they didn't understand that something was so foreign that they couldn't fucking win.
Yeah.
And that's so crazy because that's how you evolve. And
It's one of the most valuable things about this. You learn how to lose over and over again without
Yeah.
giving up.
right.
yeah.
That's that's what life's about.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Back in the day, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're
you.
good.
Back in the day,
you're all shining.
back in the day, Gustavo, Novo Now, Gustavo Dantas Jiu Jitsu. We were in a place right off McClintock, and we would get baseball players that would be off season. We would get football players. Like I know a lot of famous people because I trained at ACS, and like
Amazing program, by the way. Just saying.
Amazing
well,
program.
no, back in it's always been amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, back when I was training, there was just no options that you go to ACS, and if you're in Arizona, and I got to meet a bunch of professional football players. I trained with them. I trained with a bunch of professional baseball players, and it was crazy because we had these huge guys and super buff guys, and they didn't even know what they were doing. They were asking questions and everything.
Yeah.
And yet I go a little bit later, like when their seasons came around, I'm like, I trained with that guy.
Crazy,
He's
right?
he's blocking for Brett Favre. It was so
Yeah.
crazy. But jiu-jitsu, that's how beautiful jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah.
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 I didn't mean to interrupt your
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're all sharing. No?
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
you guys
man.
to share your story. Too.
yeah.
man. So I want to talk a little bit more about your academies individually, because I think we all share the same umbrella of Ares BJJ, which I am in love with. I love this association. You guys have been so good to us. Thank you so much for all the support, even when you didn't live here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. But
Thank you guys for believing.
so
Hey, do you
go ahead.
do you remember the first time they came out and we introduced them as our team? Maybe not. We shouldn't talk about that.
What do you mean?
That was a wild night. My head hurts just thinking about that night. That was wild, dude. That was wild.
Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Discontinue.
But I we all have it very unique academies, very unique. You and I have very new students, right? I've had some influx of like higher belts come in, but for the most part, we are a lot of white belts. You have a very seasoned crew over there, and you have how many world champions do you have under you?
At least 5 or 6.
5 or 6 world champions.
Well, listen, I'll just.
Yeah.
He's too humble. If you're in Arizona, that's the place.
That's
to
the
train.
place to go.
That's the place
Yeah,
to train.
Ares Goodyear.
If you
Not just
if you-
Arizona
if you want it-
anymore.
Yeah.
If you're in the Southwest.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ares
yes, yes.
Ares
That's the
Goodyear.
place.
Ares Goodyear.
100%.
Ares Goodyear is the place to train.
Yeah,
That's where all the monsters are.
Yeah, if you're a competitive, let's call it blue belt or above, and you're looking for a place to take your game to the next level, that's Ares Goodyear. Period.
Unless you're at my school, you stay at my
Right,
school.
then that's. But I wanted to cap
you
this
guys are
off.
always welcome.
I wanted to cap this off with we have a 10-time world champion, right, in Ares, Arizona. Are you going to rebrand, or are you going to keep it Ares, Arizona? Because that's kind of arrogant. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm going to rebrand. It's going to be Ares USA.
It's only fitting. But we all have our own philosophy, right? What is your approach to teaching? Like, you and I have very similar curriculum, stuff like that. So how do you guys break it out between, do you guys have advanced classes? Do you have mixed levels classes? Do you have beginner classes? How do you break that out?
So we have in Goodyear, we have fundamentals, all levels and advanced. And one thing that we did, like maybe a year ago, that was really good for us was split the class and have like 2 classes going on at the same time. Of course, I wish I had 2 different rooms, but I don't have that space. But we split the class basically in the fundamentals class and the advanced class at 6 p.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it's good because I used to have like 2 classes, like fundamentals class and then advanced class, but nobody stayed for the second class.
Yeah.
So I was like saving my best for the advanced class, but now not a lot of people staying,
John.
to take advantage of the class.
Yeah.
And I was teaching for like 5 people, 6 people, no more than that. And now we decided to have like the same time, which was good because my fundamentals class is really fundamentals. I want to make sure they learn the basic stuff.
Yeah.
So I always go back to the same curriculum and focus on that. And my advanced class was kind of slow.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to stay. The higher belts, they come for the fundamentals, but they don't stay because of time. And we decided to have like both classes going on at the same time. And that was the great thing. That was the best thing we did. And now I have at least like 20 people in each class. Going on
Beautiful.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing with the kids. From 6 to 13. We have both 2 classes going on at the same time, from 6 to 9 and from 10 to 13 at the same time. And same thing, we have average of 25, 30 kids in each side. And also, our no-gi class, we have no-gi class 2 days a week.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. And all day no-gi. The only class you alternate is the 11 a.m. because it's basically our comp class. So depending on the season, if it's gi season, we do gi. If it's no gi season, we do no gi. If it's kind of both, we do both.
Do both.
Because it's a class that we open to everybody to train hard. Competition mindset basically. And of course, I don't have a specific competition class, but my advanced class is kind of
pretty much a competition
class. And whenever I have a tournament coming soon, I kind of work my competition style, the drills, the positional training and stuff like that, And also my fundamentals class, we don't roll. We don't do regular rounds, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes rounds.
Yeah.
We do always positional training.
Same thing. Yeah, we do the same.
And I think that preserve, the beginners,
Yeah.
That make them feel more comfortable, more safe. And don't get too exposed to get a black eye, to get some injury or something like that. And it's always an option on my academy to roll or not, And I make sure they feel comfortable to roll if they feel ready, if they need to rest, take a seat and relax and rest,
Yeah, and the one thing I do with my fundamentals class, whenever I'm explaining to somebody like why we do what we do, because we do the same thing, very fundamental stuff. No life sparring. We do situational stuff. And I tell them, like, I break it out into 3 different parts, right? Number 1, I got to get you physically fit, right? Because if you're not physically fit, you're not going to want to roll. You're going to want to quit in the middle of a roll. I can't have that. The second piece is I want to teach you technically how to get to your teach your proper technique, right? So technical abilities. And then the last piece is that tactical piece. I said that tactical piece comes in the mixed levels class, right? Right now I'm trying to get you physically fit and technically sound so that you can graduate and go to that mixed levels class. And I think that's a really good selling point because when you explain it that way, people are like, oh, that makes sense. It's a process. I can't teach you, like Aaron Simpson and I talked about this. It's very difficult to teach somebody technique when they're out of shape, right? It just is. They can't drill.
Yeah.
They can't drill it, and they can't drill it properly, right? So you could tell them, like, oh, change this, fix that, do this, but they're so tired, they can't think, right? Mm-hmm. So if I can get them physically fit and technically sound at the same time, awesome. Now when they graduate, and I've had several students tell me this, and they didn't believe in it, right? So they'll go through the 13-week curriculum. I encourage them to do it twice. The students that have done it twice and actually really applied it and took notes and they did really well, when they get to mixed levels, they're telling me, like, I don't feel lost. I feel good about what I'm doing. I feel good about where I'm at. Obviously, they're getting the crap kicked out of them, right? But they're physically fit and they're technically sound, which is
They're ready to get beat up.
Yes, they're ready to get beat up.
But that's the problem. You don't want people to get hurt because they don't know how to deal with
Correct.
that. With being under pressure.
Yeah.
Under attack.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get hurt because they don't know how to act, how to defend themselves.
Right.
It's not because the person's gonna hurt them, but it's just because if they don't know which side they're gonna turn.
Yep. It's gonna be bad.
They're gonna get hurt.
Yeah. So so what the thing I wanted to talk about is I want to talk about what your guys I guess what your next competitions are and your competition schedule. I'll tell you mine. The only thing I care about is Master Worlds. That's the only competition I care about. Everything I do throughout the year is
no bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You got to Nogi Worlds.
Nogi Worlds. Yes.
Because you know what? That medal doesn't say Masters on it.
I hear
We all should do
That medal doesn't say Masters on
Yeah.
it, and I love that.
I've already signed up. I've already signed up for Nogi Worlds. Have you guys? Have you signed up?
I'm signed up.
You're signed up.
John, you got to
I
sign
haven't
up.
signed up.
I haven't yet.
All right.
You're
so
going
I
to.
will.
You're
all
going
right. So but the reason I asked that is I want to get your guys' opinion on. I like to break my shit out into a season. Okay, I've got to.
Can we go back to the Master Worlds thing?
Yeah.
Because I got to talk about Master Worlds.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay.
10 time. 10 time world
Sometimes
champion.
we'll champion.
So when I talk and when I'm explaining this, this is my journey.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your journey, your journey, your
Hugh,
journey.
you need a beer?
Yeah.
No, he's just going to
He's
steal
got
Paul's.
one, he's got one, he's
He's
got
going to
one.
steal Paul's.
I'll go.
So this journey has nothing to do with nobody else's journey, okay?
Right.
Because of course, Queixinho, he fights in Masters too.
Yeah.
Even though he could beat like
He had 5 fights and 5 subs.
95% of the
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah.
So Master Worlds, everybody, not everybody, but there's a lot of clout that says that this is not the one to win because you're older. Well, they don't understand that
That's your division.
Yeah.
it's my vision.
That's
It's-
that's your division.
Your division.
That's my
your
division. That's my
Yeah.
division.
You win, you win.
Division,
Yeah.
division or vision.
Yeah.
division
So,
too, yeah.
but I'm just trying to say that what's important to tell other people, like if you're Master One, and you don't want to do Master One because of your ego, try to win Master One first before you say that.
Good luck.
Right?
Because
Hey.
I can't imagine me being across from him
Bro.
at Master One. I'd be shitting my pants.
I'd be too busy
If-
trying to get a
if you-
picture with him.
If you say that like 10 years ago, oh, the master division is easy, I would
Yeah.
understand. But nowadays, there's no room for that.
No.
There's no space for that. The master division is
Tough as shit.
tough
You
as
guys think
shit.
that's a
Tough as shit.
product of the spread of jiu-jitsu and more people are training, so there's more people signing
Yeah, I
up?
believe
Right.
so. Yeah, I
I
believe
think
that.
people are believing more on that, and also like before, the masters used to be like people that start training a little late.
They used to call it seniors division too.
Yes,
by the
Master
way.
seniors.
Nowadays,
I
masters
have some of
are-
those medals.
Nowadays, the masters are the people that start training with 20 years old,
Yeah.
15, like
Yes.
myself, 16, and I'm still competing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'm in Master 2 now. My first year as a Master 2. You know,
Cool.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, in the level is just getting high because I don't want to stop. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to compete in Masters because I did enough at adults. No, I love compete.
Yeah.
I love to have that feeling.
Yes.
The fear.
Me
That's
too.
the thing
Yeah.
that
Me too.
I've
Me too.
seen
I
all
believe
of you
that.
guys
Yeah.
do successfully, which I'm struggling with, and I'm working on.
Yeah.
Of course, is the balance between giving enough to your students and also giving enough to yourself to compete.
Super hard. It's super hard because you
It's
know what?
hard.
It's super hard because you newbies as business owners, you don't have the same type of person to train with because you don't have brown, blacks,
See a white
high
belts.
level.
You said that
Yes.
to me.
Yep.
You're
Yes.
going to be in a sea of white belts, and I am, and I love it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But let me just.
And I have amazing instructors. Shout out to Drell Madrid, Lexi,
Yes.
and
Right.
Vinny the
And
voice.
Vinny the
Right,
voice.
right.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I got amazing instructors, and
Yes.
Alex, my kids' coach, is doing a great job. Oh, yeah.
So let me finish with that. What I wanted to say about the Masters division. Okay, so man, it's gonna choke me up.
It's okay.
It's gonna choke me up.
I'm good with that.
You have to. People don't understand how hard you have to work for Masters, and what it takes to get there. Some people think that, all right, it's Masters division. I can do this, do this, do this, do that. And those are like minuscule things. Like, okay, I have a job too. I own a business and I'm working like 16 hours a day. But I made sure that time, and it kind of like, my wife and I went through some struggles during that time, but she's proud of me because it was tough in our relationship, but I did it. But to do what I did, I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back because there's a lot of people. Like, I have a hero. I mean, not hero. I have a person that I look up to so much. His name is Roberto Godoy. He's a badass.
In my division, by the way.
He did a great job yesterday. Did you see that?
Yes, he's a killer.
Yeah.
But your mentality to compete has to change. And it cannot be, I mean, if you want to win something, for me, that was my master's because I didn't start jiu-jitsu until I was a master. But if you want to win something, if you want to do something, you got to go 100% in and do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
And I did that. And the people that I see that are upset at their performance did not do what I did. No. Did not do what Queixinho does. Did not do what you guys do.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
They think Masters is too easy. You're kidding me.
No.
You're kidding me. I was rolling with 20-year-olds. And by the way, they, if they were 20-year-old blue belts, I would make sure that I would make sure that they were in their best game. Like, I would say, okay, I'll sit in this position. Or like, I had some really good wrestlers and I'd say, okay, we're doing stand-up. Just because I want to make sure that I was doing my best.
That's how we're going to improve.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to improve.
If you avoid that and try to play always your comfortable game,
you're not going to improve.
Yeah.
Not going to improve.
You're going to stay stagnant.
So my voice out there is to say that if you're going to want to be the best, you have to give whatever it takes.
Yeah.
If it sucks because I'm telling you, my family suffered. My work suffered. A lot of things suffered, but my jiu-jitsu didn't, because I said, this is what I want to do. And I had to do that to win. And man, there was times that I went to Worlds and I lost the first round. There was times I lost the second round. There's times, but man, I gave everything. And that's what it takes no matter what.
Yeah.
No excuses. If you want to be the best of the best, you have to do whatever it takes. And so I'm like an old guy, but I'm fighting old guys. And I have people tell me, you're just fighting old guys. And I'm like, you're going to be there one day.
Yeah.
Why don't you win the guys in your division?
Yeah.
And none of them have gold medals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so why are you bashing me because I'm in my 50s and I'm winning? Well, how come you can't win in your 30s when you're 30s?
Yeah. We have examples that people that did good as an adult, or at least think that they did good as an adult, and then when they get a master, they did it well. And I fought some guys that they're amazing as an adult, and then as a master, they didn't find themselves. Maybe because of that, they thought they're
too easy.
Yes,
they could walk into it.
Let me just throw this out there. Based
Yeah.
on how old I am and how little I've done jiu-jitsu, Saulo Ribeiro is in my division. He can sign up one day.
Like he's been training for 30 years. And that's what I'm saying. Like the masters of today, they've been training for years.
Yeah. So I'm fighting guys.
Saulo is like an exception of your division.
He's
So like for the master
living
1 and
legend.
masters 2,
There's a lot of living legends.
no, exception on the masters.
Yeah,
division
the higher
like
ones.
being training for years.
Yes.
Most of the guys they start training 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
20 years. He's been training forever.
And I would love that opportunity, of course.
Right.
But the Masters one today, the guy who just turned 30 years old today, he's been training for 10 years.
Yeah.
Since 20.
Yeah.
So, and then he's going to be competing because the culture changed. Because now, before, just fighting Masters, seniors, Masters 1.
Master seniors,
Masters seniors 1, 2.
Well, glad they said you're right. Change from seniors to masters.
It was
a big deal.
master seniors.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to
Just saying, master by no means means masters of jiu-jitsu. It means above
Absolutely
30.
it has
Yeah.
nothing
Just
to do with
saying.
masters of jiu-jitsu. No way.
It's just
Yeah.
the age.
So
just
the
that
guy,
doesn't mean we're old.
Yeah.
so one of my nemesis that I fight all the time, I'm going to give a shout out to Carlos Tejina.
You're a big rival.
Yeah, he's
I
awesome.
I love him. He's a
Good
great guy.
I like
But
him.
he's had his black belt longer than I have done jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So that's the type of people
That's
that-
another
that
exception.
you have to
exception.
that's who you have to prepare for. So when you think like Alex was at Masters and he lost to a guy that has 4 stripes on his black belt, and then John had to fight the leader of Carlson Gracie in North America. So these are the types of people that you have to fight. Yeah, I fought him, by the way, and he beat me. He's very good.
good.
Thomas Cronin is very good.
Amazing human. I'm coming for you,
he's great.
Thomas. So I love you, brother.
But
Yeah.
this
Let's
is
go after him.
when you say that Masters is not the same. I have my gold medals. I'm super proud of them. I worked
Yes,
super
you
hard,
should.
and
Yeah.
I worked
Should be.
I didn't even take a day off. Every day.
Trust me,
every
They don't
day.
have it. They don't have it. That's right.
Yeah, they
That's
don't
why
have it. Yeah.
They don't have it.
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned Carlos Tejina, and I want to kind of get the consensus from the group, because for me, I hate to call him a rival because I freaking love the guy, and he makes me work so hard. No one has ever pushed me to work as hard as Doug Moore.
I was gonna say
Ever. Ever.
I thought he was going to say Monaco.
No, ever. I
That's
was
amazing.
I-
You have that.
I was texting Doug from the bullpen at Master Worlds because I was so freaking focused. I wasn't nervous. Like I was in like
Zone.
no
That
one was
zone.
in my head.
Yes.
I was in my own head.
That's the zone you have to be in.
And every motherfucker in that bullpen was going to pack their shit and leave if they fought me.
Yes.
That was my mentality.
That
at the
is my
time.
mentality when I fight.
Yeah. And I was texting Doug and I was like, why am I more nervous fighting you than anybody else? Why? Because like he'll text me or I'll text him. Hey, are you doing the next one? I'll give you. We talked. He and I talked about this on the podcast. I can't remember what tournament it was. A local tournament, a nothing tournament. It was just a warm up to whatever the hell we were working up to. And I said, I texted him and I said, hey, are you doing this tournament? And he literally was at a stoplight and he was going to make a left to go home. And instead he made a right to go to the gym and train. Because I texted him, how are you doing? And he's like, yeah. And he turned right and went to
his
the gym.
big motivation.
But we
Vice versa.
have each other, right? Who is your person? Who's that person that like, man, I can't fucking lose to this guy?
You know
I
what
already
said.
know his.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I mean, it might not be the same person. Who is his? I can't even imagine.
There's so many. It's not just one person.
It has to be an adult.
But who is that one person that, man, you see them and you circle their name? I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy.
Maybe I know. Maybe I know.
Tell
Huh?
me. Tell me.
Oh,
Just say.
Kim Tara.
I fought him. Yeah, I fought him many times. I fought him like 5 times. I won 4. I lost 1.
He's a tough out. He's a tough out.
Kim Tara's great.
Tough. He's-
Yeah.
Kim Tara's
Very
great.
good,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's good. He's
He's
good.
a tough out. Yeah.
He's
And I
like
like the guy too. He's a great guy. Good, funny. He's really funny. He's a whole different of his brother, you know.
Yeah.
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 But very funny, very nice. But if he have something to say, he will say.
Yes.
And I like that. You know.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
It's real.
Yeah. That's
It's
cool.
But that
But that's not the
scares
guy.
me from him because every time he says something, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna start fighting.
No, we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Me and
Oh, that's
Keith,
cool.
He's nice. I know his wife. His daughter.
Yeah.
I chose a pretty good one then, huh?
Yeah,
Because
no, he's-
I saw your fights
We fought
many
like
times.
5 times. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And but my biggest rival that I fought more was Johnny Grippo.
Oh,
We
that's a
fought
good one.
11 times.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
So have you guys been fighting each other since like purple belt, blue belt?
No. He got his,
Just
I mean, we only fought as a black belt.
Oh
Wow.
We fought as a
Wow.
black belt. I can't remember. You gotta go over the what's the name? The BJJ. I forgot. BJJ.
Like
Heroes, BJJ Heroes. No, what's the name of the website?
Fanatics? BJJ Fanatics?
No, they have all the.
shit. No,
all
the one
the
they collect all the. Fights.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I will see.
I
right
used to
now.
look at that, but I don't think about
BJJ
it.
Heroes.
Heroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
BJJ Heroes. I fought Johnny like 10, 11 times.
Yeah.
And the first one I won, and the second one, the first one he won, the second one I won, the same tournament, open class, we did the division. I lost the division and won the open class. And then we fought several times. Gi, no gi.
Yeah.
He always take a little advantage on the gi. In no gi, I was more I was thinking more the advantage.
Yeah.
I beat him at Nogi Awards twice.
Shoot.
Semifinals.
Wow. So, what is
I
it?
thought it was going to be the Meow brother. one of the
Yeah,
Meow
I thought so
brothers,
too. I
Yeah,
thought so
yeah.
too.
Meow, you know, I fought them 4 or 5 times each. I mean, I fought Paulo more.
It's just embarrassing to talk about my accomplishments when he's fighting all the fucking badasses.
No, totally different.
It's just his
Totally
division he was talking about there.
Yeah.
It just happens to be the guys.
It just happened to be the
That's
guys.
the-
Yeah.
And I fought
Yeah.
Mario Hayes 5 times. I lost every single time.
Really?
Mario Hayes.
I'm trying to get a rematch.
Mario Hayes doesn't even
BJJ Stars.
He don't keep
Rematch.
Yes.
Rematch,
He doesn't
baby.
compete no more.
Yeah.
He doesn't compete.
Maybe
Yeah.
he'll come back.
Yeah.
I fought Rafa 4 times. Lost all.
Wow.
1 as a purple belt, 3 as a black.
Wow.
And
I
2
hated-
of them I was in
I hated that reset.
2 of the fights.
I hated that reset.
That reset. That was doing good.
You don't know
That
who
was
he
a terrible
mentioned.
reset.
Hoffa Mendez, just saying for the people listening.
Yeah, Rafael Mendes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
him, like,
So Rafael
times.
Mendez is I think he's
Marcio
like
Andre.
a 10-time world champion, something like that.
No, he's
he won like
5.
5 times.
Five-time world
5 times.
champion.
He
Yeah.
left
So-
early though. He won it all, and then
He
he
won
kind of
the
just dipped
DCC.
out.
and then he retired.
He
yeah,
started being a
Everything.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother's a 4-time.
But let me
They
tell
both
you,
are Hall of Famers.
yeah, but let me tell you something about those guys. As dedicated as they were, as committed as they were in their training, they're just as committed in retirement.
Yeah.
They are next
They
level.
are
You were going
100%.
to say the right
I
thing.
look up-
They're the
I
best
look up-
coaches.
I
They're
look up-
some of the
100%.
best coaches ever.
Yeah,
I look up over there, you know, like
yeah.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah,
committed
they're
to their
very-
team.
a good example for me.
4 times, Hoffa?
Yeah, 4 times.
No, Hoffa's 5.
No,
No.
you competed.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I competed once as a purple belt and then black belt once, and then we competed twice at one of the super fights in Chechnya.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
yeah,
Over there
crazy one.
in Russia, yeah.
The back
Remember
cut,
that.
and then I was submission only, and he wasn't his best. I was like just trying to make money. But he's, he's a magician,
Yeah. What about you? What,
Yeah,
who
John.
who is your rival? Who is the guy? There's got to be a guy that pushes you.
You know, I don't really have a guy, and that's
Wow.
part of. I don't fight with aggression or compete. It's just really just jiu-jitsu against jiu-jitsu. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about it when you said that, and of course, I'd love to compete against the best athletes in the world.
Yeah.
But to single one person out, it really isn't about that. It's just
Gotcha.
being as good at jiu-jitsu as I can possibly be,
I love it.
and competing against the highest level jiu-jitsu athletes.
That's the
That's
mindset,
what I
yeah.
want.
Yeah.
He's the best.
That's
why
beautiful,
I'm
man.
here.
Yeah.
Roberto.
So
Yes,
I
I
want-
would love to see that, by the way.
yeah,
That
that
would be amazing. I'm gonna lift some weights. So he's
Godoy, when that picture he took from yesterday, boom,
Yoked.
boom, boom, boom.
He's
I'm like,
strong.
I
How
got a
does he
6-pack
do
under
that?
this party ball, by the way. You know what I mean?
There's muscle
how
under there.
that guy is like,
He's a living legend, and there's
he's
a lot of those
amazing.
around. I would love to have that opportunity.
amazing.
I mean, that would be such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, touched on it earlier. What other sport, art, whatever, do you have that opportunity?
None.
none.
There's not.
No. It's unique in that you can literally like all the guys I was YouTubing as a white belt are in my freaking division
know,
as
isn't
a
it
black
crazy?
belt.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, how is this possible, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I dig it.
That's because of hard work and dedication.
Yeah, that's and
So different because you know what, this art is so real.
yeah,
It's so real because and it's not like there's so many different arts that are so expensive. Like you can do like hockey,
yeah,
you do soccer, and you have all these clubs that like are thousands of dollars to put your child in, and then ours are a couple $100 a month.
yeah.
And they're going to be able to defend themselves.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to fucking build friendships. And they're going to have lifelong camaraderie with everybody. It's just so different. I mean, we're not even charging enough. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
It's
You know,
hard
we
to
were-
explain to somebody the benefits, the value that jiu-jitsu brings to you. And you have to feel it. I touched on it earlier. I'm a hippie, man. You got to.
Yeah.
I can't explain what it feels like to be in love. You got to feel that.
You got to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
jiu-jitsu has that in its own way because we strangle each other and we, this whole thing. But
Right.
there's something about it that's just
So-
so
People don't understand that. Like Alex and I had the fucking baddest ass match today.
Oh, it was awesome.
We started on our knees. Fuck
He
you.
cheated, by
Fuck
the
you. So we started on our
Who
knees.
won? Who won?
Even if I cheated, I still won. We started on our knees, and I'm like, Alex, no, we got to stand up.
Yeah.
And then when we stood up, everybody in the whole
The
school started
room
watching.
stopped.
The room
Yeah.
stopped, and everybody started watching us because he's my student. And by the way, he's in way better shape than I am. And then we started training. We started rolling super hard, and it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Everybody stopped and watched, and then they got to see how tough their instructors are, even though we look older.
Yeah.
But they understand that this is where we can get at that point. It was great. It was an awesome feeling.
It was.
And then when I roll with John, I mean, I have no answers for John anymore. John is amazing. John is
Yeah.
beating adults in my room.
Yeah.
So, but I had amazing mentors. I'm just saying. Like, I didn't start out like this. I sucked at first.
Right.
Anyways,
yeah,
continue.
man. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that that's the real part of jiu-jitsu. I mean, that is really like these people are sitting there trying to like say, hey, where am I going to get at this point? And
Yeah.
then they see two black belt.
Masters black belts.
And yes, and then we have a person that gave another person a black belt.
Yeah.
And they're training super hard, no ego.
Did you
We're
guys
just
match up in competition not too long ago,
yes,
though?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
what other, I'm just saying, shout out
Yeah.
to you guys for actually doing that, because that's what the people want, and that's what
Yeah.
you want at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's like a professional football coach. That's like Bill Parcells going against his linebacker.
Yeah.
It's so crazy because it's not going to happen ever again.
No.
I mean, it's not going to happen ever. in
But for
sports,
the
in big
jiu-jitsu
sports.
community to witness that,
Yes.
and I wish I was there. I wasn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was
It was
amazing.
so much fun.
You know what,
man. The crowd went crazy. It was
So
Yeah.
we were ready to walk on the mats, and Andrea Maracaba goes, "Oh, you're competing?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm gonna fight Alex." He's like, "What? You gonna fight your student?"
yeah.
And I'm like, "Why not? We roll like that in class."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "All right, I'm watching."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the best, and I don't think that's ever happened in Gustavo's
No.
tournaments.
No, that was such an amazing feeling, and it was so
It's
funny.
humility. It's
It-
like
yeah.
it's like
we
it's-
were
it's
we
the
were
best.
yeah we were just and the
So
funny
John,
thing is
you have to fight Queixinho next.
you know, fear of the defeat.
I would love the
you know?
opportunity
You don't
to
wanna-
lose to
You know,
Queixinho.
fear of the,
Just
but
saying.
that show that you guys didn't have the fear.
Ego.
You guys, the ego.
Yeah.
Yes,
Fear
yes,
of,
yes,
the,
yes.
of the defeat.
Jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
against jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Just-
Yeah.
Yes.
it was
It's
was,
really ourselves
a
against
fence row.
ourselves at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Really,
At
what
the
it
hand-
is.
yeah.
And that you touched on, like, who's that person? The person is me.
yeah
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
that person. I'm the person that I want to be
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
Because I have addictive tendencies, and I
Yep.
got tendencies to go down the bad path. But jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
has taught me, has given me a catalyst and a blueprint for life.
yeah the roadmap, dude. That's what it is, man. Yeah.
That was a great example, you guys.
Yeah. And I remember
To change the mentality.
it was so funny because the emotional roller coaster that day was. So I won my division, right? And then we're like, hey, we're going to fight in the open. I'm like, oh, no. We said that from the very
I won
beginning.
my division also, by the way.
From the very beginning, we were like, if do the open because we're going to fight in the open. Awesome, right? So then it was like, okay, the fight's on. And then they're like, oh, no. You guys are different divisions.
Hold on. Our two guys that we beat didn't even sign up. So, so we had to fight each other.
Yeah. So,
Which
So
would
then-
normally be a closeout, which means you just take your medals and
yeah,
go home.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
go
yeah.
home.
No disrespect for
Nah.
anybody, but these guys went at it.
Yeah. So then they said, "Oh no, you guys are two different divisions, so we can't put you guys together in the final at the open."
Also, they had to make an
No, they messed
No,
up.
They messed up. And then
They
so the
messed
fight's
up.
off. So we're like, okay, I even took my gi off. And then he's like, hey, put your gi back on. We're gonna fight. I'm like, what? And then they're like, oh yeah, because they only went to a certain master's level, right? That we were in the same category, so the fight was on. And then, okay, so I got to get myself back up, right? And I'm sure Paul did too. And then, like, we are walking on the mat, and all I'm thinking is like, everybody's watching.
I had him
Nice.
I had him
Everybody.
in a submission in the first 3 seconds.
That is true.
I had him in a submission in the first 3 seconds.
Who
I lost.
posted the picture? Someone posted a picture not a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think
No,
someone
doesn't
posted.
matter. I lost.
Because it was nice to see the crowd.
But you know, the cool thing was, man, like Paul and I are both like, commenting on the photo and how humble it was, how humbling it was, and how awesome it was. And then the referee, what's his name? It was a
Jackson.
referee.
It was Jackson.
Jackson's like, he said I was honored to be part of this moment.
Yes.
And I was like,
That was awesome.
wow, that was
That was
so
awesome.
cool.
Powerful.
You know Jackson,
Powerful
right?
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Samurai.
Jackson.
Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was that was really cool. That was really cool. That was probably one of the best jiu-jitsu days I can
good.
think of. Yeah.
It's really
yeah.
good. No, the
God,
best.
I wish I
jiu-jitsu-
was there.
It was awesome. The best jiu-jitsu days is when you guys, or you already are world champion, black belt world champion
Yeah.
is going to be your best days.
Yep.
And you're going to get it this year.
I
next
can't
year.
wait.
Next year.
I can't wait.
You're
man.
going to.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
going to.
I'm gonna train my ass off and I'm gonna win it, man. Like my whole
Did
mentality.
you just
has
go to
changed.
Master 5? No, that's not.
January 1.
Okay.
Yes.
January 1.
So
I'll
I go to
Master
Master 6. I cannot wait.
5. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Master 6.
I got one more year in 4.
You got a tough task.
Well, listen, guys.
Yeah, who cares?
We've been going at it for almost 2 hours.
Okay.
And you've got a concert to go to.
I do.
So
Melvin Seals, by the way, is playing
Yeah.
with O'Teal here in town. Just
Nice.
for the hippies who are listening.
Nice.
Which is nobody.
I think we've just scratched the surface, man. I would love to do this again, maybe individually or as a group. I know how busy you
down.
guys are. I know how busy you guys are, and I really appreciate you guys making time. Before we close out, there's a couple things I always do with all the guests, but please tell everybody out there how they can get a hold of you, where your academy is located, any social media that you want to share. Go ahead and fire away.
Well, listen, that's not how you ended up. Where's your question here?
Oh no, I'm going through that.
Okay,
I'm
good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to answer this question.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
My academy is on Elma School in 60, and I've been there for about 13 years. And you can find me on social media, Paul Nava, or Ares BJJ, or you can find me on aresbjj.com.
Gotcha. What about you, John?
I'm on 40th Street in Thunderbird in Paradise Valley, Phoenix. I'm a new kid on the block out there. And you can find me at Grey Wolf Ares BJJ, or just look me up.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a humble guy, but yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. He's humble, but he'll beat the shit out of you. So,
100%.
yeah. Q, where can they find you, buddy?
I'm at Goodyear at 500 North Buller Avenue with Van Buren. And Ares BJJ Goodyear is the location.
Yeah. Ares BJJ Goodyear. If you're a young competitor and want to get some rolls in, that you can do a lot worse than Ares Goodyear. So, all right. So I'm gonna ask some questions, and these are rapid fire questions, and we're gonna go. I'll ask a question, then we'll go this way. You guys answer, and there are no wrong answers. Some of them may not apply because he grew up in Brazil. So let's give him a little break. But here we go. Name a game show you think you could actually win.
Price is Right.
Family Feud.
I'm out.
What's your favorite cheap meal?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Mexican food.
All right. What's the longest you've gone without brushing your teeth?
God.
Week.
Don't lie. Nice.
I'm a hippie.
12
I've got a
hours.
week. I'm a hippie. I mean, I camp a lot.
Burning
At least
Man.
12 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours. No way.
2 days.
2 days. Okay,
No
that's
way.
not bad.
Hey,
Oh.
tequila works as mouthwash. Just
Yes,
saying.
it does.
Zero.
Vodka does too. Vodka.
All right. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ladies' night, and it's feeling right.
Anyone from Lady Gaga?
All right.
Any song from
Everybody knows I'm ladies yet.
It's got to be Shakedown Street. by,
Ooh.
Grateful Dead.
Nice. What's a dumb song you secretly like? You never play it in front of people, but you love this song. This is a tough one. Bootylicious is mine.
There's so many.
No, but it's one that you'll play in your car. Will not play with the windows open. You can do this. Dumb song you actually like.
GQ, I Do Love You. I do love you. I love you. I love you.
I think you might play that in front of people.
I'll
right.
sing it
That was a
karaoke.
good one, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys prefer to sleep in or take a nap?
Take a nap.
I wish I could sleep.
Yeah.
Take a nap.
Play,
Always.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Wait. Queixinho.
Oh,
What was
sorry.
it?
Sleep.
Sleep. Yep.
Okay.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Xbox.
Neither.
Good. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Marvel.
Nice. Let's see. Do you use a public restroom or hold it?
I'll shit anywhere.
Anywhere. Anywhere.
I'm gonna shit right now too.
Would you rather go into the future or back in time?
Future.
Back in time. Got to change some shit up.
I hear ya.
Same. Back in time.
Back in time. Rolling Stones or Elvis?
Elvis, you better not fuck up.
Rolling Stones.
Oh, it's
Oh,
for me.
yeah, yeah. All right, last one. What's your favorite child TV show?
Child?
Yeah, child TV show. Your favorite child
We were
TV
just
show.
talking about this. I'm fucking Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Flintstones, man.
Yeah.
The 60s Flintstones were the best.
Yeah. What was yours?
Gilligan's Island, because I remember my
Gilligan's Island's good.
football coaches in high school used to remind me of how much I would miss playing football. You're gonna be sitting at home watching Gilligan's Island, and I love that show. And every time I watch it, I think about that.
That's all you think about?
And I miss football.
No, when I was young, I was watching Power Rangers. No.
Power Rangers.
Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
there you go.
God
You can
damn
see
this youngster.
He's young. Yeah.
This youngster.
All right, everybody. Listen, if you got something out of this podcast, if you like the content, please subscribe and share, like, whatever it is. You can find us on social media at the BJJ Foxcast. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and you can find it on any social media platform. You can find it on anywhere podcasts are played. Thank you guys for listening. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
I gotta pee.
True.
Hit that red button. Hit the red button.